Got a couple of blockbusters coming up on Friday nights in the next 2 weeks as we run towards the finals, but a very important match, particularly from North Melbourne's point of view, a top 2 or top 4 position. And the Dockers, well, they want as much as they can get out of this season. Free kick paid to Parker and the advantage given to Walker. The handball taken by Carey. This is a vacant forward line. Good kick. Just missing, hitting the post. So Carey striking early, not the full blow, and he looks sharp.
That's a dangerous looking North Melbourne forward line, isn't it, when you consider that Wayne Carey started probably at full forward position and they had Corey McKernan, who really looked like he was just about to return to...
Oh, gee, well, Carey nearly got it involved there too, didn't he? Gale was trying to get it short from Parker, and Carey almost chopped it off out wide to Pickett, who's had a magnificent year. One of the favourites, if not the outright favourite, for the Norwich Rising Star. Kick intercepted there by O'Reilly. It was in short. Handball away from Pike there and towards the boundary line and out of play.
Bruce, keep you up to date with the boundary line down here. Michael Brown, who replaced Manners on the bench, Godden and Clucas and McGovern for Fremantle.
And Bond has picked up the dangerous Winston Abraham.
So the boundary throw in, Burton from behind up against Corey McKernan. That's Holland and Pickett struggling for possession. The ball between wing and right half forward, favouring the Kangaroos.
And for North Melbourne, Robbo, Chandler, Glenn Freeborn plays his 50th game, Darren Crocker and Brett Harvey.
Well, it's a 100% performance by the players that give us the team lists. It's the first time this year, I think, that the interchange players were as selected. McKernan, over the top was Burton, could have nearly been deemed as a free kick. Simpson, dispossessed, Fletcher, quickly to Callaghan. Callaghan's kick goes towards the left half forward. Good mark taken by Hunter. Kingsley Hunter. He's too far out to score, but by gee, he'll put that North Melbourne defence under pressure. It's a good kick. It bounces. A free kick. It's going to North Melbourne. Play on. The advantages with the Kangaroos. Martin to centre half back, and it's taken by Anthony Rock.
Through the centre now, Rock, one of 2 players to come in tonight. Kicks the ball to about centre wing. Missed by Simpson. Burton. Good handball to Walker. Walker's kick to half forward. Big flight in the back came from Capuano. Hunter at ground level. Caught. Good tackle there by Simpson, and then through the legs. Scholl over the top of it. No free kick. In fact, Hunter getting it back out for the Dockers. Burton got down low, the big fellow. Can't break through Spider, and it's going to be a ball up at centre wing.
And the Dockers already showing their willingness to compete in the midfield. That's what they'll need to do. A lot's been talked about the fact that North Melbourne have Wayne Carey at centre-half forward, but what you sometimes forget is how well they win the ball at ground level in that midfield section, and you've got to be hard and tough and under the packs.
Already, sorry, Bruce, already we've seen a fair bit, Tim, of young James Walker, number 40, and the great-grandson of the great goal kicker Gordon Coventry. So here he is in the play straight away.
He was very good against Essendon last week too.
So his kick just chopped off quite nicely there by Pickett, couldn't control it. And the boundary umpire will throw it in right on centre wing in front of that area where the players are sitting on the interchange bench right now. And Dipper has told us that North Melbourne were, as told to us by the staff downstairs, Chandler, Freeborn, Crocker and Harvey warming the bench for the Kangaroos. It's got to about half forward for the Dockers. Gathered there by Holland. Now a chance for North Melbourne to clear. No, McCartney couldn't control it. And it'll be thrown in left half forward for Fremantle.
And Robert, just checking some of the matchups. Bell's running with Fletcher, Grant and Sinclair are together. O'Reilly's on Carey, as we said. Norris is tagging Stevens, and Burton's opposed to McKernan.
So a real struggle there for Anthony Stevens, and lots of pressure put on. Simpson to kick it away for North Melbourne. Back towards the middle of the ground. Punched away there by Carroll. Good disciplined football. Gathered by David King. Hooks the kick towards half forward. Getting back as Parker. Carey gathers the ball, and then over the top. Chance here for Grant. Isn't he a good finisher? Shannon Grant, the bounce not favouring the kicker on that occasion, and it's through for a behind.
That was an intelligent kick there by David King, actually, to Carey, because Parker has dropped back with O'Reilly to pick up Wayne Carey. That ball just dribbling past Parker. Then it was just an intelligent handball over the top, and Grant just unable to put that one through.
Been close a couple of times, haven't they? Carey and also Grant, good kick by Parker that time to centre half back. Carroll's taken the mark. On quickly to half forward, running onto it. Here is Dodd. Dodd cut off there, but keeps his eye on it and has a second go. Scholl tries to get to him, applies a strong tackle. Hunter trying to get the ball out. Grant's onto him, and North Melbourne's tackling is always a feature when they're on song, and they've done it again there and forced the ball out of play.
That was great competing then by Scholl. He had to hold the Dockers up there. Had numbers at the ball. I think there was about 3 of them there, just sweating on that Dodd getting his hands free, but he was well held.
Pike caught up, and again it's going to be a ball up. Pike, the man who made the recovery, didn't he? We saw 3 players last week injured in Brisbane with knee injuries, and Pike was the one that's been able to get up for this weekend. Archer missing, Allison more the thumb, obviously. We'll talk to Brett Allison at half-time. Stevens unable to get free, and again it's going to be about 70 metres from the Dockers' goal.
It's a real feature of modern-day football. We just checked the Dockers' bench. All the players go to those stationary ball-ups around the ground. We see huge packs converge on that, and then depending on which side wins the contest, we see the players breaking free.
Pickett's kick straight up in the air came from Capuano, pushed forward by Burton to centre half forward. McCartney has had a very good season, belts the ball back to centre wing. Big fly at the back from McKernan, who split the pack. Simpson did very well, kicks the ball forward, cut off by Wills. Good mark. He's an extravagant player, isn't he, Wills? He comes through centre half back.
And he kicks the ball pretty well too. That left footer has pinpointed Burton from about 35 to 40 metres. Looking to get it back again was Wills, but Burton, with no hesitation, went straight towards goal. Through the hands there of Martin, gathered by Bell, left foot kick by Peter Bell, and the boundary umpire could have nearly got a possession there, running hard and away from the football. It is out of bounds.
Mickey, perhaps he got the ball lost in the lights on that occasion. Just lucky that Bell was there to mop up.
So boundary throw in about 55 metres from the Dockers' goal. Dodd gets it there from Sinclair. The kick to the front of the goals, punched away from Michael. It spills. Good play by Norwich. Wasn't that smart? And the goal was kicked by Michael for Fremantle. Terrific bit of football there. Very smart thinking. I mean, Norwich has played enough football. You would expect that, but if he gathered it, he was gone.
Well, he's a smart player, isn't it? It was just a contest. There was a one-on-one duels there. They just knocked the ball free there. That was good play by Clement, just to knock the ball back into space and allow then Norwich to get back onto the ball and handball over the top. And that's good play by the Dockers. They'll need to do plenty more of that in their forward line.
Well, the Dockers, their performances against North Melbourne, the last 3 times they've played, it was mentioned earlier that they won the previous game this year over in Perth. They were competitive in 97, being beaten by only 26 points by the Kangaroos, and in 96 the margin was only 6 points in favour of North Melbourne. So they're not intimidated, and it'll be a game of football, don't worry about that. The betting suggests that it'll be all North Melbourne. This is Bell into the path of Rock. It bounces awkwardly for Rock. Back goes Scholl. Carroll is there for Fremantle. But the umpire's found a free kick, goes to Callaghan.
Yeah, for a high tackle, Robbo.
Out wide, King to cut it off, and he does. In front of Norwich, about 65 metres from goal. Carey provides a lead, and King goes in his direction. Does it get all the way? Chipping across in front, Simpson. He's been in good nick early, hasn't he? He's had a couple of lovely touches. He was in the premiership year, Tim. He didn't miss a match all year. He was a very important player for them.
Well, he was just sort of one of those players, perhaps not their first chosen, but he was just an important player. That was just a terrific mark. It was going to be a tough contest there for Carey to take it, but that was a courageous grab.
Should goal, 35 metres out, careful approach, and he's hooked it badly. So North has had 3 shots for goal, a couple of them not easy, the Carey and Grant ones, but yeah, we're all a bit bemused by that one, and it's 3 behinds to a goal. But like Robbo, you do get the feeling that the Dockers have come here and they're going to be very competitive. They haven't won a match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. They've come close on a number of occasions. Parker's teasing us, isn't he, with those kick-ins. Bell's been able to get it back to Rock, belts it to full forward, and the mark there taken by Grant. Is that Chandler that might have belted it forward to Grant? Grant's been terrific, hasn't he? I mean, the thing that he's provided, not only is he so constructive, is his goal kicking. He's kicked 35 goals, 9 before tonight. He's kicked a behind here tonight. Missed a couple, didn't he, last week in Brisbane? But if somebody had told you that they were going to get 40+ goals out of Shannon Grant this year, you would have just jumped at it, wouldn't you?
And it's the way they've used him too. He hasn't just been a midfield type player. They've been prepared to let him run free across half back when he's actually struggled to gain possession of the ball.
He's got it. So Grant scores, and the Kangaroos are in front. Wayne Schwass in Sydney, Shannon Grant in Melbourne, at North Melbourne. Not too often you get such a good deal for both clubs.
It's sort of a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
Although you'd have to say that probably North Melbourne should win out in the long run, given the fact that this man is still just a young player earning his stripes in AFL football. Chris Bond just giving him a bit of extra attention on that occasion, but he has gone back on a number of occasions just to get himself back into the game.
So the umpire restarts play back at the centre. Taken away by Fletcher. The ball bouncing quite nicely for Fletcher. He's kicked towards full forward. Wills, good recovery. Left foot snap by Wills is wide. And Mickey Martin sees it over safely for a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for Fremantle. North Melbourne 1-3, lead Fremantle a goal. And wasn't it sensational stuff by Andrew Wills? We saw some footage of, well, maybe it might have been a little bit fluky, but anyway, it was a terrific goal that he kicked over in Perth. This is King, David King. Gee, we've become accustomed to that. Running away from the full back line. Out there is Robert Scott trying to just create a path for his teammate. The ball at the back, well judged there by Bond. And Bond marks and kicks the ball back towards half forward. Out wide, good mark by Hunter. McCartney, perhaps just being a little careful, not keen on punishing Hunter as he took the mark. Clement providing the lead. Hunter still to try and decide whether he's going to go short. He's going to be forced to kick in towards centre half forward. Wills has got it. Not paid the mark. Bell dispossessed. Good play by Michael. Michael's kick towards full forward. Clement! Oh, gee, I thought that nearly went through. Callahan. High. In towards the goal square. Pike is there for North Melbourne, and now it'll be locked up. Right in front of the Fremantle goal. The umpire will bounce.
Well, they've been lively, the Dockers forwards, in the early part of this game, and Kingsley Hunter across half forward has been very good, taking a couple of marks already, providing a target for them.
Martin and Michael. Mickey wins it down to Pike. Just too slow, actually. Took one step too many, and the Dockers, which I think says a lot for them at the moment, right onto him. Pike heavily bandaged his left knee there. And here's Holland, who we like, don't we? We saw Holland in Perth this year, and he was terrific in his debut match. And he's done pretty well. It's a tight angle, good shot of it there. He's going to give it off to centre half forward, and Burton, who provides the tallest target in league footy, has taken the mark. Spider's not a bad kick for goal. And you give him a good chance from here. It's 1-3 to a goal. Think about the teams that the Dockers have beaten this year. They've beaten the Bombers, North, St Kilda, the Crows, the Demons. They're good scalps. They just haven't done it enough, have they? And Burton has kicked the ball very well. I reckon he might have just missed, just over the post. It was a good kick off the boot. Slide hook on it, and the Dockers get within 2 points. So an entertaining start to this match. North Melbourne a couple of points in front.
Well, the North Melbourne players out there know that there's 18 Dockers that are going to make a contest. David King gets a good kick a long way away from the goal square. Nearly out to the wing did David King carry that ball. And North Melbourne on the scoreboard lead by 2 points. He's already had 5 or 6 possessions. David King, boundary throw-in, Capuano. And over the top, Burton. Kicked out of there on the full. So the free kick, it's against David King on that occasion, and it'll go to Sinclair. Sinclair from deep at left half forward, kicks towards half forward, Pickett in front, just made it a bit difficult down there. Walker's dispossessed, grabbed the little high by Rock, tripped. Trip, was it?
He was actually tripped by King on that occasion, Robbo. Just watch this closely. He's away here, Walker, and King just gets the bottom of his boot.
I'm just trying to find out why there wouldn't be a 50-metre penalty. Yeah, that was the reverse angle of that decision, and the free kick paid for a trip by hand, which would normally involve a 50-metre penalty being paid as well.
I thought it was automatically a 50-metre penalty, and
right,
if
Tim.
it's by leg, then it's also a report. Yeah,
that's right, Tim. Yep.
Well, King obviously just probably disappointed with himself there. He tried to stop Walker. He did it illegally, which results in a free shot at goal by James Walker. And a bit of a stuttering approach there. He's kicked it across the face of goal. Michael to keep it in. Sinclair trying to make it. Clement. Well, he has scored. It's just a behind to Fremantle. He's been a goal kicker for the Dockers, James Clement. And we'll have another look at the free kick that was given to young Walker.
Yep, that should have been a 50-metre penalty, as you called it, Tim.
So bad luck there for the Dockers. And North let off a bit. Abraham to Martin. Martin through the centre. Don't the North fans just love Mickey to set a half forward. Carroll did well on show, but there's down the ground. Is it coming back? I've missed it completely. There's a Docker player down.
He was actually chasing Bruce, and he was taken well off the ball and went down very, very heavily. I didn't pick up who made contact with him, but
it is Bond.
Everybody.
Free kick's going to North Melbourne. Is it Chris Bond, is it?
Yep.
So Winston Abraham's got the footy. So Bond is as tough as they come, isn't he? He's a tough nut, Chrissy Bond. Let's hope he's okay. Okay, we're going to have a look at a replay of this.
Yeah, we see Bond actually chasing there, and there it is. Contact with the bottom of the chin, I would suggest, and that is at the very least a free kick, and the free kick's been paid, and Chris Bond doesn't look all... Oh, he doesn't look all that bad at the moment.
The free kick's gone the other way, though, John. It's gone to North Melbourne.
I think there's a reaction from the Fremantle player. That's why North got the ball.
Had Fremantle been given the original free, do you know, Dipper?
Yes, they did, Bruce.
So had it taken off them.
That's right.
Roberts kicked to about 50. Rock's handball over the top. Mickey missed that one. Well done, Burton. He's got great skills, the big fellow. Pickett should mark it. And he does at centre wing as Chris Bond comes from the ground. And he's going to be replaced by Andrew McGovern. So bad luck there for the first-year player at the Dockers, the veteran formerly of Richmond, and before that the Blues, as Capuano's got it at centre wing.
Gee, I know we do a lot of whinging about things like that happen in football, but that was not necessary either.
And Robbo, there have been a number of articles written during the week about charging, and they're the sorts of incidents that just have to be eliminated from league footy.
Well, this is the sort of thing that we love to watch Winston Abraham do, and he nearly got the ball there to Scholl, kicked out of there by Stevens, gathered here by Grant. Little hand pass sets it up for Roberts. In goes Abraham. Slips the tackle, gets the kick away to the goal square. And Carey, he just got rid of his opponent and has marked safely on his chest, only about 13 metres out from goal.
Just too strong in that one-on-one contest. All he had to do was just wait. There he is. He gets rid of O'Reilly, and then he's just got a clear run at the ball.
So Wayne Carey going for his first goal, North Melbourne second. Shannon Grant has been the goal kicker for North Melbourne at this stage. Carey, well, the boys are having trouble tonight at the MCG. From a goal kicking point of view, Carey misses. 2 behinds against the captain's name so far. 1-4, plays 1-2, North by 2 points.
He's kicked a lot of points in the last 3 weeks, Carey, at Manuka, at the Gabba, and now with a couple early here. He shouldn't have missed that one, but he knows that better than we do. 1-4, 1-2. Parker to bring it in. So both ends we've had wasted opportunities in the opening quarter, and the kick finds his brother Daniel Parker back in the team. Looked a goal-kicking prospect a season back, but he's just struggled like a lot of the Docker players to really take the next step, but they've been very hard hit by injuries, particularly this season. Holland caught up and a bounce down.
Bruce, I've just checked that with Chrissy Bond. He's still a bit shaken up, but the doctors assure me that if he's needed, he's come back on the ground later on.
Thanks, Dipper. 1-4, 1-2 here. So Bond, who had the job on Abraham early, so run with tagging role, an important player for the Dockers, hasn't missed a game this season. Holland caught, had it for a while, and free kick coming back to him, being held on to probably by Rock in the end. And Holland will take the kick between half-back and centre wing. Dockers just a couple of points behind. Big raps on this kid, and he looks as if he's got a big future. Kicks the ball towards centre wing. Hunter has troubled McCartney a bit early. It's been an interesting duel. They both had a fair bit of the play. Roberts is in there. and also Clement, and a bounce down. He's an amazing player, Roberts. He's 33 years of age, and athletically, he's probably going as well as ever, isn't he?
I reckon blokes have got a cheek calling him Fridge now, don't you, Tim? He's been terrific. Trimming down.
He's a slimline Fridge.
My word, he is. And he does well for North Melbourne. Carey couldn't take the mark. It's run away from the half-back line by Parker. His vision not too bad, but made it a bit difficult for the big fellow Burton. Gathered by Callaghan. Handball not too bad. Back to Norris. In turn, Holland to Walker. Walker will nearly kick a goal here. Go in and kick it, son. Go for a long kick. It's going right to the goal front. There's been a free kick picked out.
Paid downfield against David King. Obviously, Craig Callaghan was
actually
held.
The pen's come out.
It's been reported, boys.
And I wonder if that's charging or striking, because the Abraham one on Bond was arguably a charge, and it seems as though
I would have thought that, John. Actually, I thought that one Abraham on Bond was just a shepherd. I thought that was a fair enough shepherd, actually.
Well, the definition of charging includes violent contact when a player's within 5 metres of the ball and wouldn't expect the contact, and you'd have to say that the only uncertainty there would be whether that contact was violent.
I thought it was within 5 metres.
It can be within 5 metres and still a charge, Tim.
Well, Michael will kick a goal for Fremantle. He was only 4 metres, 5 metres out, and he has got it. So Fremantle's 2 goals have been kicked by that player on screen, Clem Michael. They have the lead. It is a 4-point advantage to the Dockers.
Have a look at the reverse angle of the incident. So Kingy's had his number taken here.
I'll tell you what, if he gets a week for that, then there is something wrong with this game. What a farcical...
Well, I certainly don't think that one was anywhere near the class of as violent as the Abraham one was, so certainly didn't look as severe.
10-14, the score here. So the Dockers lead 2-2 to 1-4. Walker's got the ball. It's been busy early to Norris, and a free kick advantage given now to Norris. Stop and start a bit. Kicks towards Hunter. Well played, McCartney. Belts it away. Gale's handball to Dodd. Caught up by Scott. Taken by Fletcher. Fletcher's quick kick round the body. Clement in the box seat. Couldn't quite take the mark. Holland's onto it in the forward pocket. She's just kicked it too hard, hasn't he? He had to hook it back, and a bit softer than that. And he didn't get the angle at all. And he's kicked the ball out on the floor.
See Bond just preparing himself to come back onto the ground, but the Dockers are doing well at ground level. Sinclair, Walker, who's very impressive, and also Fletcher getting his hands on the ball.
Well, Pickett for North Melbourne in their left back pocket, kicks it high and long, gets it out close to half back, and the umpire's found a free kick. It's going to go to North Melbourne. Might be Anthony Rock. Well, didn't matter anyway. Bell or Rock, they shared it. Roberts, Michael to put the pressure on. Kicks it out in front of Pickett, but by golly, there's some pressure on here, and a free kick given away there by James Clement, and Pickett is the recipient.
And the signal given was for holding, and I think James Pickett certainly overreacted. I don't think he was. I think Pickett was not held in any really substantial way. Short
kick is with David King, and I'm sure he'll be hoping that he can forget all about the report that happened just a few moments ago. Scott's handball over into the path of Pike, nearly gathered it in spectacular fashion. Back to Rock, Rock towards full forward. Carey again, good punch away by O'Reilly. Ball spills to the front of the pack there. Abraham and Sinclair, and the umpire will bounce about 30 metres out from the North Melbourne goal.
And Winnie the vacuum cleaner, he just couldn't suck it up on that occasion, could he?
Oh dear. Well, he's a terrific player to watch.
The ball wasn't going to fit up the nozzle on that occasion.
14 plays 10. There's Abraham being minded by McGovern while Bond has a spell. He looks as though he's all right, Chris Bond, so that's a good sign for Fremantle. King knocks it forward. Abraham to gather. McGovern. Now Fletcher. King. He's out of bounds, as you can see there, and the umpire will throw it in.
And Jess Sinclair looks to be in a little bit of trouble. One of the trainers is actually signalling to the Dockers bench now, waving the towel. I think he's going to have to come from the ground, holding his arm or his shoulder. In fact, it may be a wrist or hand injury. We'll just have to wait until Dipper can give us a report from the boundary line on that. But it appears that he's actually coming off the ground, and Bond is now getting himself ready to replace him.
So we set Freeborn on. And taking Capuano. Here's Abraham trying to find some space. Can't quite. Not happening for North Melbourne in this opening term. Out to Freeborn. Back to Carey. Carey's 65 metres from goal. Lets loose. Kicks the ball to the goal square. McKernan front spot. At the back, Rock wouldn't sit for him. Will's got a handle on it. Rock's in there. And it's going to be a bounce. Here's young Sinclair, who is in a fair bit of trouble, by the way. He's holding his arm there. See Dipper in the background.
Maybe a thumb, actually.
And wrist thumb area. We'll check on that. So North 1-4 to 2-2, right in the goal square here. McKernan, Burton, McKernan just laid it down. Was hoping. Simpson cleverly around, and he's kicked it behind. You know, Robbo, I've worked out after 20 minutes that it was Robert Scott that got the ball to Shannon Grant. I called it Chandler. Then I had a go at. Before him was somebody else. I'll give up, but it was Robert Scott. Anthony Rock was the other one. Thank you, Robbo. Chris Bond's got the ball.
Wouldn't it be easier if a few of them grew their hair long or whatever? But anyway, it's Bond. Oh, terrible miss by Carroll. He wouldn't be happy with that, the young fella. Walker, well done, Bond. Into the action quickly. Callahan, he's at left half back, and we're having a look there at the injury in the little screen. McCartney, now that came off a shin, I'm sure.
Yep.
McCartney takes the resulting free kick. The hand pass goes to Anthony Rock into the middle of the ground, and it's Pickett.
Centre wing. Goes long and gets a fair bit of distance to Kerry O'Reilly getting involved. Parker was down there with McKernan. Shane Parker attacks hard. O'Reilly's kick across the ground. Danger here if Stevens can get onto it. Shannon Grant's there to shepherd him. Stevens has got it 60 metres out. High ball back in. He's got McKernan and Carey getting set, and McKernan stands tall and takes a strong mark. And if you could say, Tim, there is one player that North would love to accelerate in form towards the finals, this would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
Well, last week we saw him play, and he just looked that touch out of form, but that was a good centering kick there by Stevens to put it to the top of the square.
They'd love a big one from him, and they've got a goal from McKernan. So North hit the front late in the opening term. 3 points in front early, 2-5 to 2-2. McKernan and Grant the goal scorers. And McKernan's goal is his 20th for the season. And that means, Tim, that they've got 6 players now, like the Bulldogs, who've kicked 20 goals this year.
Well, they've got an extremely dangerous attack, North Melbourne.
Anything in that? McKernan looking at Carey to say, I'm not going to, you're going to go, am I going to go? Eventually the young bloke takes it. So McKernan kicks the goal. There was some good understanding there, because sometimes you can get the two fellas not cooperating in the form of Carey and McKernan. But on that occasion, it was McKernan's mark and goal. Taken away there from Simpson by Sinclair. No, it wasn't Sinclair. It might have been well, Burton's got it now. No, dispossessed by Roberts. In goes Robert Scott. Back to Pike. Pike goes back to Simpson. Simpson's right foot kick towards full forward. Carey and O'Reilly. Parker under pressure. Nearly gathered by Grant. Kicked away there by Gale. Now the chances with Carroll. Carroll's hand pass to Wills. Wills is at half-back. Dancing, ducking, weaving, and then kicks it along the line, and he'd be happy because it's bounced over for a boundary throw-in right on centre wing in front of the players' interchange area.
Robbo, we saw Jess Sinclair come off the ground. Everything's OK with Jess. It's more of a dead arm. He just got his elbow caught up in a tackle.
3 points is the margin in favour of North Melbourne. The last minute of the first quarter. Grant tackled there by Norrish and Holland, and the umpire will be forced to bounce. There's Sinclair on screen, and Dipper tells us that it may have just been a little bit of a nerve. Burton handballs it further forward, looking for the ball maybe to bounce to the advantage of one of his teammates. It looked as though it might have been young Holland there, but not happening for Callahan. It was. North Melbourne fans, they're here in force. There's a few people here, about probably 25,000 people at the MCG for Friday night football. Good conditions, just a slight breeze. Pickett to gather just inside the boundary line. And what's happened here? Free kick off the ball there. Pickett was going to kick it away.
Yeah, that's right. Free kick. The shepherder actually tackled, so the free kick will be paid where Stevens was actually trying to shepherd.
Half back. What a fine player he is. Kicks it in. The Wills has cut it off. Late chance for the Dockers. High ball. They need a miracle mark really after a kick like that. Flying high from the back was Clement, but he never really got involved. And at North Melbourne, able to hold it up pretty well. So 2-5-2-2, Gerard Neesham. A lot of conjecture about Gerard's future. He's in his 4th season with the Dockers. And North lead at quarter time by 3 points. Program there. 2-5-2-2 here. I'll go down to Dipper in a moment when they settle. McKernan, North go to the left. Dockers go to the right of screen. Don't reckon Dennis would have been really happy at quarter time. We could see him instructing his players, and Gerard Neesham had a bit to work with early because the Dockers were very competitive, particularly in the first quarter of an hour. Abraham will have bounced the right way, just missing. And he's been a highlight of the 1998 season. Former Docker Winston Abraham, the Big Dippers on the boundary line.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Look, Gerard just mentioned the word drop back, making sure his players do drop back on Corey McKernan and also Wayne Carey. But I just feel a lot of those players are sticking around the centre-half forward. They should be in between centre-half forward and the goal square. That's where the drop-back position should be.
And you're right about the dead arm for Sinclair because he's back on the field, Dipper, at centre-half back. So 2-6 North Melbourne, 2-2 Fremantle.
Well, exciting young player, Jess Sinclair, but he's very much undecided here. Now he goes to the Great Southern stand side of the MCG and kicks it long out towards the wing. Perhaps the mark could have been taken by Roberts, gathered here by Carey. That ball has gone over and will be thrown in between wing and right half forward, favouring North Melbourne.
And North have gone very short up forward too. They've got Winston Abraham, Grant, Freeborn and Pikes, their big tall target. Carey's actually pushed further up the ground.
Capuano having a rest and being worked out on the boundary line at the moment. Matthew Capuano, Chandler, he's on the bench. That's Grant for North Melbourne. The umpire looks as though he's found a free kick here, John.
Free kick paid for shepherding in the ruck contest, Robbo.
Callaghan to kick it forward. Go, Dip.
That's all right, Robbo, back to you.
Right, hand pass out wide to Pickett. In turn, King, confronted by Norris, was good. Pike's got a little bit of space. Handball out wide to Scott. Scott forced to kick quickly and doesn't do too bad. It eludes the players in that area. Michael not able to gather. Gale was pretty good there. Couldn't control the hand pass. And it trundles over for a boundary throw in on centre wing in front of the big Great Southern stand.
Spider Burton now playing in the square up forward. Mickey Martin's picking him up.
Well, Michael gets rid of McKernan. Now that was shepherding. And look at McKernan go on with it, John.
He's pretty keen to get one back.
Well, he's a terrific player, Corey McKernan. Carey not able to take the football with him. He looked as though he was a man on a mission there, but left the footy behind, did Wayne Carey, and perhaps a little frustrated there as he regains his footing. The ball at centre-half forward for the Kangaroos.
And, Robbo, how many players can you count around the ball at the moment?
Well, you count the others that aren't there, so probably about 14, so the rest of them are out there, Tim. 20-something.
Sinclair sharked it from McKernan, and the bouncer's beaten them all. McCartney trying to get back. It was interesting by Hunter. He decided to give McCartney a bump and then go on with it. He may have been better off to scoot after it. The kick forward by Sinclair, marked in the centre by Pike. Carey provides the lead. Pike kicks it out in that direction. Carey shoved out, should get a free kick. He does. It was pretty crude. The advantage given. Rock must go. Runs a long, long way. And Rock has put it through. Carey been taken out.
I've seen the players run shorter distances than that.
He looked to run too far, didn't he?
And win the 100 metres too.
Oh,
he ran forever, didn't he? It'll be interesting to see the replay.
With your promo there.
So Carey earning a free kick here. O'Reilly just with the bump, and
actually there wasn't much in that.
No, there wasn't.
I agree with you, Tim. I don't think there was much in that at all.
He really was the aggressor, wasn't he, in the contest? But he drew 2 players to the ball, and Rock was at ground level.
19 paces, according to our information. Anthony Rock ran there.
19 little paces.
Kicked the goal.
No league footballer running flat stick runs less than a metre per pace, Dipper.
North Melbourne lead by 10 points early in the second term. Fletcher to Norris. He was well tackled, though, by Simpson. Ball spills now for Pike. Pike off the left. It is his left knee that he's had a little problem with, particularly last week. Pickett gets the handball out wide. Looks for Anthony Stevens. His kick is what you'd call probably 50% efficient. It's found the boundary line.
Yeah, different role for Anthony Stevens tonight on the half-back flank. He was playing on Wills, and Wills has now come off the ground. So we'll check on him in a moment.
And Godden is on the ground now for Fremantle. Wills just looks a little distressed, taking his place on the interchange bench. Gathered here by Fletcher, run down by Simpson. Was a good tackle, an excellent tackle from behind, and he's being rewarded.
And the free kick being paid because he was deemed to have had a prior opportunity to dispose of the ball, and then when tackled, didn't successfully kick it or handball it.
Bit stiff, maybe?
Yeah, probably a bit stiff.
Simpson's kick to the goal front, kicked away there by Dodd. Dodd goes out very, very wide. King, with a lot of determination, gets back away from Walker. Not much space there, and he kicked it towards the half-forward area. Carroll, he's been free kick. Carey's gone for goal, but surely the umpire will bring it back. And
Wayne Carey's got another free kick for one of those marking contests.
Crocker, I think it is, John. I think Darren Crocker's got it, yeah. For a shove out. So Crocker has come on for show. He has the ability, Crocker, I mean, he's been injured so often, has the ability to impact quickly on a match, doesn't he, when he comes onto the ground. We saw him earlier this year against Collingwood when he made his return to footy on the June long weekend when he kicked 3 goals. He's missed there and missed really badly. He's normally a good kick. Had that big grand final in '96 where again he played a cameo role. He's had a frustrating run, Darren Crocker.
No good for Wills there, Bruce. It looks like he's hurt his ribs, and the doctors have said he won't be back on the ground.
And Dipper, he was the key player in that win. Not only that soccer goal, he had some great moments at the Wacker earlier this year. King did well, got it down to Bell. Missed by Pickett, but gets back onto it. Always seems to have plenty of time, and then kicks from 50 to the goal square, but misses as a behind. So North a bit wasteful here. We saw signs of them being a little flat last week, didn't we, against the Lions? I know that it'd be the last thing that the coaching staff would want to hear, but it must be a bit difficult not to be looking ahead for them, and that's not giving, I guess, Fremantle the respect they deserve. But it's 3-8 to 2-2.
And Parker, under a bit of pressure with those kick-ins, he's had 8 of them now, and a couple of them have been very dicey. Bond, his short kick finds Godden. Godden is still in the defensive half of the ground as far as Fremantle are concerned. His kick lands close to the wing. Punched away by McCartney. Good disciplined football. Grant's handball and just slipping through the hands there of Adam Simpson.
Yeah, Friday night football's been interesting this year. We've had a lot of injuries, obviously, over the last 6 or 7 weeks, and the bench has become a big play.
Now, this is interesting. A little mat there for Andrew Wills, and he lays down to try and get some comfort, I guess, as he sits on the bench. Callaghan for the Dockers. Short kick is all right. Burton is marked. Probably still a kick and a half. Nearly 2 kicks from goal as far as Fremantle are concerned. They trail 14 to 26. Burton to run on. Nearly decided on a Gale as a target for the hand pass, but then kicked towards full forward, and a good strong mark taken by McKernan.
Whips it out towards McCartney. He needs the right bounce here. Gets it, doesn't muck around, decides to belt it forward. Parker's underneath it. Couldn't take the mark. Freeborn was good to her. And going very well there was Grant to push forward for North Melbourne. And boundary throw-in.
It was just good play then by Freeborn, wasn't it? Just to commit himself to that contest. Didn't actually touch anybody, but it was just enough pressure to force the ball free. And North Melbourne now got the situation where the ball's at half-court. They can set themselves up with a scoring opportunity.
Burton took it out of the air cleverly, and then caresses the kick towards the boundary line. He was on his wrong side, and he realised that a big kick would have taken it out on the fall. And he played the percentage well. Change there, Michael and Brown. So Michael Brown, who came in today for Peter Mann, and good effort by Michael in the opening term with a couple of goals. McKernan being held on to. Belting the ball forward. Sandwich there by Rock and Simpson. And that was on Fletcher, and it'll be a ball up.
And Bruce, to be fair, the umpire was in front of that ruck contest, but normally one of the end zone umpires would come up to be side on so he can give those free kicks for holding. But there wasn't one there.
Burton and McKernan again. McKernan, Sinclair caught one in the face inadvertently. McKernan pushes forward. Daniel Parker Handballs on to Dodd. Dodd's quick kick back into the heart of the centre square. Pickett was able to get his opponent to go to ground there in Clucas, and Clucas runs into Bond. Bond tackled by Pickett. Pickett wins it back very cleverly to Abraham. Abraham squeezes it out to centre half forward. Couldn't take the mark, Carroll. Crocker got it up to Rock. Rock kicks to the space. Free kick coming back. What for was it?
High tackle was the signal, Bruce, but that contact prior to the marking contest at centre half back by Pickett. I mean, clearly two actions. Pickett's first intention. Here's the free kick that was paid for high contact. Reverse angle shows that Darren Crocker clearly grabbed over the shoulder.
Goes to Carey. It's a good kick, and Carey running into the space has taken the mark.
Johnny, did you think that was a free kick against Pickett?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
what's different than that than two forwards, the full forward hitting the full back before the ball arrives, like Carey did in the first quarter, and then going to the contest?
Tim, I'm not suggesting that we can generalise, but in that instance, I had no doubt. We'll wait till Wayne Carey kicks the goal.
And he likes it, Carey. He reckons it's through, and it is. His first goal tonight. Go your hardest, John.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt in my mind that Pickett's prime objective then was to get rid of his opponent. And when there are two clear actions like that, one to get rid of the opponent, then the secondary intention is to go for the mark, then it should be paid as a free kick. I'm not saying every time there's early contact. Here's the reverse angle free on Darren Crocker again. Clearly grabbed over the shoulder. But normally if there are two actions as blatant as that, they would pay the free kick for marking interference.
So North Melbourne get a little bit of a break. 4-8 to 2-2. It is 18 points now in favour of the Kangaroos. Rock back to Carey. Now Carey's right down in the centre square at the start when the umpire bounced the ball after he had just kicked North Melbourne's fourth goal. Callaghan finds Burton. Burton is on centre wing. Strides away and then kicks towards full forward. Back goes Pickett. Didn't quite control the mark. Didn't care anyway. McCartney. Wider still. Carey right back at full back. Kicks it out towards the wing. Good mark in front taken by Pike. And Dodd, the player, trying to hold up Martin Pike. He's at right half back. Kicks the ball towards half forward. Carroll. Rock trying to make that look as though it was an infringing tackle. Gale does well. Then it gets it to Carroll. Carroll just squeezes the kick down towards the wing. Gathered here by King. King assesses, then delivers towards half forward. Up over the top, the bouncing, bubbling Winston Abraham. Well, he'll get people to the footy. There's no doubt about that. With these acrobatics, that was a fantastic effort again by Winston Abraham.
And Robbo is well within kicking range too. He is outside 50. But his timing when he kicks the ball is almost perfect. Well within his range.
Well, it looks as though he's got goal written all over it. As Tim has mentioned, it's going to have to be a 55-metre kick. And right in the pocket. Has Carey been awarded the mark? You would have to think it's a mark. Yep. How did he control that, John?
Well, obviously, in the umpire's opinion, he has.
Are we getting a little lenient about marks?
Well, I hope not, Robbo, because the rule has never been changed. The player has to control the ball, and obviously it's up to the umpire to determine what control is. Terrific
look at what... Oh, he does it easily. There was no difficulty about that, was there, Wayne? Carey's kicked two. After opening his scoring with two behinds, he's kicked two of North Melbourne's 5, and the Kangaroos lead by 24 points.
Just watch this mark again. Winston Abraham didn't get onto that kick. The ball right in the pocket. Carey just flying, and just a great shot of that mark.
Well, they're both great shots, aren't they, Tim? They're just fantastic angles of that marking attempt. We won't call it a mark, even though it was paid, because, in my opinion, at no stage did Wayne Carey control that footy.
5-8 to 2-2, so Carey paid there. McKernan kick forward. He's kicked a couple, Carey, and North has split the game open now, haven't they? They're 4 in front, and they're looking as if they're going in for the kill early. Carey on the defensive side and then belts the ball back to Roberts at centre half forward. Good effort by Parker. Abraham's handball back to Stevens. Can he get it back? Takes Godden on and then centres the ball to centre half forward. Good mark by Carroll coming across in the front to Sinclair. Sinclair off the back pocket. Nice kick to Walker, who had a very promising opening term. Kicked a good goal against the Bombers last week. Callahan's got it at half-back. Kicks the ball on to Norrish. Norrish at centre wing. Norrish with a little one. They've run the length of the ground here with some short passes. Clucas has got it. Played the first 4 matches of the season and now back in. Clucas has kicked to centre half forward. McKernan went high and put his hand on Burton to get some leverage, and it has been paid. Spider gets the free kick at centre half forward and decides quickly to go for goal and has just missed. It's a behind. Hooking and then straightening it up late, but Burton's kicked a couple of behinds. 2-3 to 5 goals 8.
And Bruce, North Melbourne taking control in this second quarter. They've taken the ball inside 50 11 times to 3. That just gives you an idea of how often they've taken the ball forward. And also Wayne Carey, they've pushed him up towards the midfield of the ground, just trying to open up their own forward line, and then he's rushing forward with the ball, so he's still going to have goal scoring opportunities.
Gee, Pickett was good to get the ball about 15, maybe 20 metres away from the square and then kick it out to where there is a contest here on centre wing.
Paid for incorrect disposal, and I really did think he attempted to handball the ball.
Oh, what a good kick. That free kick was awarded to Carey, and he's pinpointed McKernan. Corey McKernan will try and bomb one from here. He's got onto it. It's right into the square, helped over there. Well done by Carroll. Standing his ground with Crocker, forces a behind to the Kangaroos.
And that's when they're dangerous, isn't it, North Melbourne, when Carey actually goes right up to the wing position. Corey McKernan just spotting that Carey had the ball, rushed forward to that space, and that's where the defensive player in Burton, who's playing as the ruckman, really just doesn't have the athleticism to go with Corey McKernan, and that's where North Melbourne was so brilliant in 1996, their premiership year.
Parker to bring it in. McGovern's come on for the Dockers, and Pike getting ready to come back on. Now Gale very slowly takes the ball out to Sinclair. Sinclair to Bond. There's pressure everywhere now when the Dockers get the ball, and he basically kicks the ball to the boundary line. It was all he had left, wasn't it? No options, and he found the line. At
the end of the day, though, the ball is at half-back, almost wing position. It's 2 kicks for North Melbourne to get it back towards their goal. So it's not bad defensive play there. Fremantle, their last goal, the 21-minute mark of that first term.
Fletcher's little kick straight up in the air. Be cool play on. Roberts belts the ball forward to half forward. It was a difficult one for Crocker. Well done by Rock. Rock to Harvey. Harvey, a beauty. Great goal.
He hasn't been there that long.
Just came on. Yeah, just he's a goal kicker, isn't he?
He's a terrific, yes, no doubt about that.
He is an impact player, isn't he? That's his 27th goal for the year. But just the way North Melbourne were just prepared to push the ball forward, that's where we see North Melbourne at their best. And Rock, who's been a very good player at ground level for them, again tonight, feeding that handball out. And Harvey, as we say, the impact player just coming out onto the ground. And that's a good snap from a long way out.
Well, Brent Harvey kicks his first and North Melbourne's 6th goal. We've got 8 3/4 minutes left in the second quarter. Kick forward by Norrish. Just pushed off the ball there by Fletcher was Simpson. Simpson not doing a bad job. I feel as though he's getting at Fletcher. He's close playing tactics. Stevens running away here from Godden. Kicks the ball to his offensive 50-metre. Good mark taken by Crocker. He's clean, isn't he? Very clean, Darren Crocker, with his possessions. He kicks the ball to the front of the goals. Carey gives away a lot of meterage. Back to King. Can he get past? He can. And straighten up. And go for goal. David King hits the post. He's had a mixed night. He's been reported, we feel, for an indiscretion earlier in this game. And the ducking and weaving ability of David King. And got plenty on the kick too. The short kick in has been marked here by Sinclair.
McGovern kicking it in. 6-10 to 2-3. Little one across the ground to Bond. So for the second time in about 4 minutes, Sinclair to Bond from a kick in, and then he measures it wide and finds McGovern. half-back. Goes towards Fletcher. Good kick, actually, but Simpson was given away a free kick this time for a push, but Simpson has done very well.
They've been very good in the second term, North Melbourne, in a defensive way. The Dockers really haven't been able to get any flow in their play whatsoever. They've only had 9 handballs in this second quarter.
The free kick looked soft, Tim.
Yes, it did, didn't it? Sinclair's kick to half forward. Burton, well read by Hunter. Hunter's quick kick on. O'Reilly and Martin. That's an interesting duel, isn't it? And Martin able to get rid of him. Norris quickly onto the boot. Martin getting back. Also with him, Harvey. Will they force it over the line? They haven't yet. Now here's Blakey, who we haven't seen much of tonight. He's obviously had a very defensive role. Kicks the ball wide. Burton, it's close to the line. Fletcher runs it over with Simpson.
Yeah, Bruce, they're just trying to... Sorry, Bruce, they're just trying to find someone up forward, and obviously O'Reilly there without Peter Mann, and Will's off the ground. He's just gone there the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Thanks, Dipper. Capuano comes on for Roberts. O'Reilly had a heap of shots for goal last week against the Bombers when he won the ball well, but had real trouble converting. Sinclair with him, Pike, and again a boundary throw-in. So the Dockers are finding a lot of problems here in penetrating, aren't they?
And what will happen now, Capuano will go onto the ball. He'll match up with Burton, and now they've got a mismatch, North Melbourne, in their own forward line, with McKernan being picked up by Gale.
Boundary throw-in. Pike over the top there of Callaghan. Kicked away by young Walker, and on the end of it is Fletcher. Just one of the rare occasions that Fletcher has been able to get away from Adam Simpson. Then he kicks it into the pocket, too short. Goes through the arms there of the North Melbourne defender. Now Fletcher's got the ball back again. Fletcher is 65 metres from goal.
Just looking for someone, Robbo.
Yeah, it still looks the same, doesn't it, Dipper? They just are so frustrated because these boys are manning up beautifully, the Kangaroos. Capuano is marked in the left back pocket. Disciplined football by North Melbourne. Frustrating tactics. Simpson to the front. Godden and Abraham. How did Abraham rob Tony Godden of the football? Kick forward by Harvey. Yes, it was. He just got it onto his boot quickly. Not taken by King. McGovern's hand pass is all right for Callaghan. Callaghan okay as well. And he's found Clucas. Running good is Norris, but the kick goes further forward. He was looking for Hunter and knocked away in the finish. Disciplined stuff there by McCartney. Playing the percentages, found the boundary line with that punch.
Blakey had the job on Clement, and he's now come off the ground, and Holland's come back on.
Well, the scoreline 46 to North Melbourne, 15 to Fremantle, so that's a 31-point advantage. We've got 5 minutes left in the second term. Capuano trying to get the ball clear, but it's fallen into the arms here of Callaghan. He's about 53, 54 metres from goal. He'll kick it to the square. They're looking for a big mark from Burton. He's at the back. Holland not able to gather the crumbs. In goes Pike, but that awkward bouncing ball. Pike away to Sinclair. Sinclair's snapshot looks pretty good. It's a goal. In the finish, it was a struggle for the Dockers to get their third goal. They kicked their second goal at the 21-minute mark of the first quarter. They've kicked their third deep into the second term.
Well, they've really struggled, haven't they, when they've gone for the Dockers, and that's probably been the story for them all season. They do have the 15th rated and ranked attack in the competition, but Mickey Martin would have been pretty unhappy with that kick there too. Low percentage kick back there. Mickey would have been better off picking the ball up.
3-3 to 6-10. So Sinclair getting the Dockers' first goal for the term. Their previous, their second goal about 21 minutes into the first quarter. But low-scoring game, so they're not too far behind. Norwich kicks to full forward. Good mark by Hunter. Kicked 5 goals earlier this year when the Dockers played in round number 10. On that occasion, Collingwood beat them at Victoria Park, sorry.
He does look like a full forward, doesn't he, Kingsley Hunt? He doesn't always kick enough goals, but he looks far more comfortable when he does play a full forward. He certainly doesn't have the athleticism and the endurance to play at centre-half forward.
Kicked a couple in his return to the Dockers senior side last week. And this would be handy, wouldn't it? A couple within a minute and a half. And he's got it. So out of the blue, really, the Dockers close it up a bit.
I think it's also the fact that North Melbourne, we feel they've dominated, right? But they just haven't got it on the scoreboard.
Well, they've kicked 10 points, haven't they? They've had 16 shots to 7. But it was good the way that Norwich actually won the ball in that centre, because one way you have got a scoring, the best scoring chance you have is to get the ball out of the centre and go forward quickly. And that's when you do find some spaces. We see Kingsley Hunter shooting from goal from the reverse angle. Didn't take many steps, but steadied himself nicely.
Well, big spider to try and surge the Dockers forward. It's chopped off by Anthony Stevens onto his trusty left. Kicks towards left half forward. In front there was Parker, but gathered by Freeborn. Tackled by Parker, not bad. Got the hand pass to Pike. Pike goes for goal for the Kangaroos. They've kicked their 11th behind.
Gee, they're lucky, Dockers, that North have been inaccurate, but just a subtle little knock there by Peter Bell. The ball went to half forward. He just got his hand in. He knew exactly where he wanted to direct the ball, and that set up that forward line thrust then for North Melbourne. But they just continue to be wayward with their finishing.
Well, there's 3.5 minutes left. If they could manage a goal before half-time, 14 points the margin, they're still in this game, the Fremantle Dockers. The ball out to centre wing. Holland does well on Martin. Gets it back to Gale. Push out. Walker looking maybe to give it back to Gale and then put himself under a bit of pressure, but the kick has been well marked by Fletcher.
Fletcher about 80 metres from goal. Hunter takes off, then slips. Short kick in, not good. Burton having to get down very low. Pickett did well. Handball out to Scott. Back to Harvey. Harvey, no clear option, and he took one step too many, and it was smothered. Godden got it back. Taken now by O'Reilly. Measures the kick to centre half forward. Hunter the target, had a bit of it. Rock was front spot. Handball through by Dodd. Was it a high tackle? It was. And he's going to get a free kick. Just thinking back to last week, the Dockers kicked 5 goals late in the second quarter against the Bombers, didn't they? It was 9-2 just before half-time. And Fremantle made a real little dash at them to bring themselves back into the game. This is not quite as extravagant, but if they kick a goal here, they've gone from 5 behind to 2 behind just before the long break. So an important kick. Dodd 30 metres out. He really should kick this. Should not miss. And he's got it. So the Dockers do creep even closer. And they've put a lot of respectability back into this score and given themselves a lot of heart. 6-11 to 5-3. 3 unanswered goals in the space of 4 minutes, probably 4 or 5 minutes. By the Dockers. There's the reverse angle high there by McCartney. Just a bit careless, wasn't he?
That was a careless bit of play there. Umpire with no real decision to make on that occasion. So Scott just giving Dodd a bit of treatment.
Well, Dennis Pagan may have been sitting back, relaxing a few moments ago, but 3 quick goals to Fremantle certainly has him looking at the field placements anxiously. And the Dockers will get away from the centre circle again. Burton throws it onto his boot. Pickett, then Simpson. Handball wide. Martin. Good peripheral vision there, or understanding about where his teammates were. Martin's kick has been marked out there by Callaghan. Callaghan goes short. Chance for Walker. Impressed with this young man. He's doing well for Fremantle. He kicks it inside the forward 50. Up goes Martin and takes a strong mark across that full back line for North Melbourne. 47 plays 33, close to half-time. North Melbourne at home to the Fremantle Dockers. Friday night football. Scott, Harvey, Carey shrugs the tackle and puts his teammate Robert Scott under a bit of pressure, but he's able to recover the situation himself. Gathers and then kicks it down the line. Punched away by Carroll from Crocker and finds the safety of the line.
What the Dockers have been able to do in this second quarter is find themselves a lot of space. They've been chipping the ball around. It hasn't always been effective, but they've been able to retain possession of the ball. 25 marks to 10 in this quarter of football really highlights the difference in the way these two sides play their football.
Anthony Rock quickly onto his boot. Back goes McGovern and scores a rush behind to North Melbourne. So with just a minute left in the first half, Fremantle have, well, they've just scragged and chased and just persisted, and they're in this game. They trail by 15 points. The kick-in is taken by Sinclair.
He's been able to get clear, hasn't he, on a number of occasions with a kick-in, Sinclair, in the second quarter. Back to Norwich. Important kick, this one, isn't it, to find a target. Goes long and wide to centre wing. Sinclair is his target. Good mark taken by Rock. Strong hands there. Big game for Rocky tonight to make his presence felt just prior to the finals. Got a chance with the injury to Brett Allison. Kicks the ball back, marked by McKernan. He looked awkward, didn't he, McKernan there, but it basically, he couldn't drop it in the end, could he? It was just too easy. Now, he's a thumping kick. He's deciding to lay it up to Carey. This will be interesting. Carey takes off early and gives a free kick away. Parker's free kick.
Free kick to Carey.
Free kick
Is
to
it sorry?
Carey.
Oh. Gee whiz, sorry. I missed that completely.
So have I. Bruce,
Did he get a shove, did he?
Well, he
I don't think he did.
No, he signalled pushing. He signalled pushing.
Oh, yeah. Actually, he was taken out of the contest.
Well, Gale.
Gale took him out of the contest. Oh,
well,
John,
I didn't think there was all that much in it.
that wasn't taken out of the contest.
I didn't think there was much in it.
So Carey's kick 2. And 30 metres out, straight in front. And he likes it. He's got his third for the quarter. Well, remember all the talk about Carey and the free kicks a couple of weeks ago? Well, he had a mark paid tonight that was probably very iffy. And that one...
Look, you got one bloke who's actually got his eye on Carey. Carey's got his eye on the ball. You cannot take a bloke out of a contest.
Did he actually have any physical presence on him?
He knocked him. He knocked him.
Well, I'll just go with the majority of Robbo and Bruce. And I agree with him.
Oh, boy.
Listen, you played 300 sensational games. He umpired 250 sensational games.
Yeah.
Let's take a little bit of notice of him.
Not one of them forgettable, were they, John? 7-12 to 5-3.
I wish I could forget some.
Hey, at least, Robbo, you and I are sweet tonight. We've made up after a couple of weeks. 7-12 to 5-3. Wayne Carey, 3 second quarter goals. Well, it's been a funny old first half, Tim. You still talking to us? 7-12 to 5-3, 54 to 33. Carey with 3 second quarter goals. And north of the handy break after the Dockers had come back hard late in the second quarter. Simpson gets the first kick. Fletcher went for it. In fact, he and Callaghan were the two flying. And it's going to be a bounce down. Just seriously, John, for a moment, do umpires talk about the contentious ones at half-time amongst themselves?
Sure, Bruce, yes. Yeah, and the other guys would give opinions as to whether they thought it was right or wrong.
So we just saw the 3 umpires there. Plenty of experience out there. And North in hard there, but giving away a free kick was a bit over the top there.
Yeah, just exactly as you said, Bruce just jumped over the top.
By Shannon Grant. So McGovern's got it. Andrew McGovern kicks the ball into the centre. Mark Holland couldn't take it. There were 3 North Melbourne onto him. Scott was good to King. King comes away and delivers strongly to Scholl. Scholl had his arms pulled down by Carroll. Scholl after it. Bond after Scholl. And no free kick, boundary thrown about 45 metres from goal. He just hasn't quite hit full form, has he, Craig Scholl, this season? Dipper on the boundary line.
Yeah, North Melbourne were very late on the ground, and obviously they'll be fine for that. But Andrew Wills is off the ground with Fremantle, for Fremantle, and Brown, Godden and Clement on the bench.
Abraham, left foot, towards Carey at full forward, belted away at the back by Carroll. Ball comes down to Scott. A little indecision there between a couple of the North players, Harvey and Scott, and it's going to be a bounce down. So Dipper giving us that information on the boundary line. Interesting if Gary Lyon doesn't play. That's going to be a big blow for Melbourne. He's kicked 17 goals in his last 4 weeks.
Yeah, he has been tremendous, and I think he's admired by all the players at Melbourne as a genuine leader. He does play well, but he's a terrific leader on the ground. But back to the game here at the MCG tonight. North Melbourne leading it, and it might go even further. No, Pike's kick was smothered. McKernan knocks it further forward. Shot for goal by Rock has just missed off to the right. And the first score of the second half is a behind to the Kangaroos. Mark Roberts and Brett Chandler warming the bench with Glenn Freeborn and, of course, Matthew Capuano.
Good play there by Winston Abraham just to knock the ball through the congestion, just opened up the forward line to create that opportunity.
Short kick in as marked by Gale, and terrific there, Peter Bell, wasn't he? Just trying to be a pest, isn't he?
And succeeding.
Well, I guess in the final analysis, if you win a game by a point or less than a goal, you never know. Some of those things do count. Out wide, McKernan, good mark in front of Burton. He's just forward of the wing, but by gee, if he thumps this, no, he decides to just hold it up and kick it across the line. and he may have been looking for Craig Scholl, who was well tackled by Fletcher. Ball spills for Stevens. Grant in there, so was Simpson. A nice little touch there by Simpson for Stevens. Stevens kick high. Oh, great mark. Carey, probably second last in line there, just forced his way through the front two players and has taken a very strong mark. Just a great shot from the reverse angle there of Wayne Carey. And I think perhaps we've been missing a bit of that in Carey's play. We come to accept it, I suppose. He's just such a terrific player. And you can see there that he's already kicked 3 goals, going for his 4th. And we're in the early stages of the second half. His kick for goal is good, and the captain has kicked 4. So 4 goals to Wayne Carey. He has kicked half of North Melbourne's 8 goals. 8-13 to 5-3, North lead.
That was Wayne Carey's 60th goal for the year, and that is a fine effort from somebody who's alternating between probably full forward and centre-half forward, but probably plays most of his football at centre-half forward. See, Crocker just went up a little bit early. Carey had the better timing coming right over the top. And with 4 goals, the dominant forward on the ground.
So North take charge a bit here, 8-13, 5-3. Carey, who's kicked, I think, their last 4 goals, and has 60, as Tim said, for the season. Bond to Burton, and the Spider goes for goal from 50. Gets underneath it. Martin pushed out from the front spot. At the back, Michael. Taken by Hunter. Good kick. Touched by Pickett around the body. Some good thinking there by both Hunter and Pickett. And it's a behind. Tim Carey's best year ever is 82. So at 60, he's getting some high figures. That was a good kick. And Pickett must have just scraped it with his finger, and Robbo looks at me and I'm not sure either, Ian, to be honest.
Well, I'll give the umpire, he was pretty close to it, Bruce, but by gee, it must have been close.
G. McKernan, that was good play, but he just caught himself up a bit and was unable to cramp himself to get a full kick away. Shane Parker wide, gets it to McGovern. McGovern's kick down the line's a good one, finds Walker. Walker quickly on, got his kick away after Harvey put the pressure on. McCartney couldn't take the mark. Taken by O'Reilly. Handball coming loose. King's got hold of it. King, such a dasher from the half-back line. Kicks the ball out to Rock. Tried a half volley, couldn't do it. Sinclair out of play. 61 to 34. 8-13 to 5-4.
Is it?
Yeah, this is close, isn't it? Have a look at this. Did Pickett touch it? He might have got a fingertip to it. Good angle there.
It certainly was, and the decision looked to be correct by the goal umpire. The kick back towards the wing. Fremantle, a chance here to gather through Parker, but he's well tackled by Stevens. And Stevens appealing for maybe an indiscretion there.
I think he was appealing for deliberate out of bounds, Robbo, but the umpire would have guessed had he paid it.
Deliberate out of bounds. Well, we've seen a lot of those. Questionable ones too, I suppose, but McKernan, his kick. Lands at the feet there of Daniel Parker. He can't quite control the football. That awkward bouncing ball. Abraham dancing and just darking beautifully. Stevens, kick towards half forward. Nearly taken there by Callaghan. Bell tries to get it out. I don't think Scholl was the intended player. Scholl's kick across his shoulder. Nearly taken by Harvey. Harvey back there in a contest with Dodd. Dodd underneath. Did he make an honest attempt to clear that ball? The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt and will bounce. Only you can see the square there, so 11-12 metres from the North Melbourne goal. 61 plays 34. Burton in front. It's hit the behind post, so it'll be a boundary throw-in. O'Reilly, he's just having... I was going to ask you, Tim, player that plays half forward one week when he's not accustomed to, 1 goal 6, then he's not quite sure whether he's on Carey, he's not quite sure whether he's playing on the forward line. Can he be a little bit nonplussed? Can he lose his form in a night?
I don't think so. He's an experienced player. He should be able to handle the change.
Norris's kick goes across the line. It's taken by Dodd. Dodd in the right back pocket, short. Knocked away from Callaghan by Harvey. Was good disciplined play again. You can see that North Melbourne players all round the ground, when those tiny little things that are done effectively, they really do encourage each other. And this was the mark that we thought was just a little ordinary. It was eventually a free kick.
Free kick paid against O'Reilly for pushing Wayne Carey out of that marking contest.
So the kick for North Melbourne, Burton jumping a little too early. Rock's hand pass back to Pike. Pike off the left, kicks to the front of the goal. Scholl made a contest of it. Crocker back to Scholl. Scholl tries to get it out wide, taken by Sinclair for Fremantle. Sinclair's kick, not marked out there. Bond, handball away. Good play by Stevens and Simpson, and still King is able to gather his footing and then kick the ball into the pocket. Carey. Oh.
Now that's paid the other way, actually, because Wayne Carey now signalling that he did it with his hips, and you can remove an opponent from the marking contest using the hips, as we saw then. Just
being a little cocky there, telling the umpire to look at the big screen here at the MCG, Wayne Carey. But the free kick was given to the Fremantle side. Rock gets it out wide to King. Back he goes to Simpson. Simpson, well, he just tried to force it forward, but unfortunately for North Melbourne, went to Callaghan. McCartney gets it to Martin. Martin able to run away and then steady and kick the ball towards the forward 50-metre arc. Punched away by Crocker. Defensive work on the forward line, not too bad. Dodd there at ground level, back in the middle of the ground. Burton, Michael went in very, very hard for Fremantle. Sinclair, the tackler on Pike. Ball spills to Fletcher. He's going absolutely nowhere, and the umpire can do nothing but bounce just wide of the centre circle.
Now this is a free kick paid in the forward pocket against Wayne Carey. The first bump clearly designed to get rid of Daniel Parker from that marking contest, and then Wayne Carey's second reaction is, oh, I'm here now, I'll go for the mark, but first intention to get rid of Parker.
It's just taken another beauty. Oh, not paid. Was it touched?
Yeah, he's signalled touched. He's run in signalling touch, so obviously in the umpire's opinion it was either touched upfield. Now Wayne Carey looking at the scoreboard. I don't think he's going to change it, Wayne.
Tell you what, I reckon the coach will send a message out.
Let's have a look at our replay here.
Yeah, now we really don't know whether it's signalled as touched at that time or touched from further upfield, but certainly signalled as touched by the umpire.
So looked a good mark, didn't it?
Yep.
Grant's handball inside, cut off. Dodd round the body to the vacant spaces here at centre wing. Hunter and McCartney. Hasn't been a bad duel, that one. McCartney belts it over the line and out of play. Gee, probably the big is Burton on the interchange with O'Reilly. That's a mark, isn't it?
I would think so, but it's interesting because there has been a bit of a flow against Wayne Carey, and you just wonder whether there was a discussion at half-time that maybe that free kick shouldn't have been paid.
Fletcher's got it.
It's been three now.
Keep trying, John.
Kick to centre-half forward. McCartney. Quick kick away. Robbo, you just don't move from that position. I tell you what.
I'm very precarious position.
Taken by Walker. Walker's kick out wide to Hunter. Hunter's about to 80 metres from goal. Gets away from McCartney here. Now he's going to go to the pocket with a little one, and Clement couldn't take it. Quickly onto his feet, kick not good, and Rock was able to fill the hole and take the mark and kicks the ball wide a little dangerously, but Stevens is a good player and plays the percentages normally extremely well. Lovely kick inboard and found McKernan. McKernan running into some form here as he kicks the ball back into the centre. Parker chops it off. It wasn't a particularly good kick. Parker could kick a goal. 50 metres out, leans back, goes for it. Good kick, and Parker has scored. So in the end, maybe the McKernan kick was a little ambitious, Tim. 8-13 to 6-4, and Parker scores a long goal for the Dockers.
Actually, McKernan's been winning the ball well in this third term, but he's had 4 poor kicks, 2 of them or 3 of them on the run, and then that one he tried to get the ball back inside. Chose not so much the wrong option, but he just didn't execute as well as what he should have and let that Parker in.
Just North Melbourne flirting a little bit, do you think?
I think they're over-possessing the ball in this third term. I reckon they're just layerising with the ball. In fact, I thought that in the second term too, and their handball count has been very high.
And this could be what they're looking for. Anthony Rock goes straight down the ground from the centre bounce and emphatically kicks a goal for North Melbourne. Rock gets his second, and that's the sort of footy that North Melbourne play and do it very well. They've got their 9th goal on the scoreboard.
Well, you'd love to be able to do this all the time, wouldn't you? We see Corey McKernan just leaping, actually getting his timing right. We saw him last weekend. He just couldn't get that timing right. But what about that tap there by Pike? That was intelligent play, electing not to grab hold of the ball. And then Rock. Now, one of the most difficult things to do is actually steady yourself and kick accurately on the run like Rock did on that occasion. And he was very happy. That's a terrific camera angle there, a reverse angle.
And the thing that Dennis Pagan's going to remember that play, and Rock's got to put his hand up to make the team, doesn't he? I mean, he's on the borderline whether he can hold his place, and he's done well tonight with a couple of goals, and I reckon that was one of the big plays of the night, no doubt about it. So good on Anthony Rock, a premiership player at North Melbourne, as Robert Scott goes forward and kicks to centre half forward. Carey, oh, wonderful attempt there by Carey, almost held it. Ball comes out to Roberts. Roberts goes to goal. Can Scholl get there? Ball bounces away. In fact, goes out of play in the end.
Tim, you mentioned Corey McKernan. He's so determined to get back into form. Every time he gets the ball, he just wants to play on. That's probably why those missed kicks have happened.
Thought for a moment Carey might have held that, but he was unable to hold it. But I guess from what we saw in the second quarter, he should have really been paid the mark. 67-40. Boundary throw in. Forward pocket. Carey again out of the air. Quick kick to full forward. Not 10 metres. Gale under pressure then, and Sinclair forces it back. Carey's getting midfield figures here, isn't he? 13 kicks and 5 handballs, and he's kicked 4 and a bit goals. 9-14 to 6-4.
Free kick paid at the 50-metre line for an infringement forward of where the ball was, obviously, so it'll be paid at the back edge of the centre square because the ball was yet to be kicked in from the behind. So
and it's going to Fremantle.
Fremantle will take the kick from the centre of the back of the square because an infringement paid, or an infringement against a Fremantle player when the ball was yet to be kicked in from the behind.
So taken by their previous goal kicker, Parker. That's Shane Parker. Daniel Parker wearing number 5 for Fremantle. Pickett. Oh, terrific, isn't it? Gee, it's great to watch. Streaming away from half-back. Sets it up for Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts just stands and gets it on quickly. Carey in front of Daniel Parker's mark. Too strong.
Just a total mismatch there in body strength, isn't there?
And there's some ironic cheers because I think the North Melbourne fans believe that maybe Carey has been a little hard done by a few of the umpiring decisions, and on this occasion just no chance whatsoever to mess this up. It was a clean mark to the captain, Wayne Carey. He's going for goal number 5, and it's a beautiful kick. It is a magnificent kick by Carey. He's kicked 5. Yeah, John, he's in the news, he's in the play, he's a big player, he's a big man. Is there any way in which this fellow would not get Brownlow medal votes? He's just a tremendous footballer.
Well, he's a fantastic footballer. The only thing, a couple of times he's probably shown a bit of a lack of discipline. I don't know whether he talks to the umpires. I certainly can't recall him ever having a hell of a lot to say to umpires. But just on tonight, I'd certainly be suggesting that he not tell umpires to look at the big screen to see whether they've made a blue or not. I don't think that's a way to get popular.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So that would influence the umpires when they're doing their 3, 2 and 1, would it?
It's fairest and best, Tim, and if he's giving them an earful regularly, then I'm sure that would influence them.
Grant's kick to full forward. Crocker. Rock's handball to Scholl. Scholl's little give out to Pike. Pike's handball on. Crocker gets it back to Scott. It was a hard ball to win. Back to Crocker. North have done well to get it to full forward. Oh, mismarked by Parker. Off the ground. Another one. Goal to Rock, I think. He's third. He's got it. 3 goals to Rock. And North Melbourne, bad mistake by Parker then, Daniel Parker. 11 goals, 14 to 6 goals, 4.
North just working it forward again with quick hands, but the way Parker actually went for that ball on that occasion, just watch this. He actually just went for the ball as though he knew that Carey's presence was going to spoil him. He really felt Carey just in the area.
Burton about to come on. You wonder why O'Reilly's on the bench, don't you? I mean, he's got to be a prospect back there. I'm just a bit worried, Robbo. Tim and Johnny Russo got to share a taxi on the way home. They're not going to agree on which way Irish goes, that's for sure.
I think Irish is lucky that they've only got to go as far as South Yarra before they drop one of them off, Bruce. The ball at half forward here for Fremantle. Fletcher about to pounce on the loose ball, but by gee, it wasn't loose for long, was it? Pickett was onto him.
Hasn't he been fantastic?
Terrific,
Pickett?
yep.
Actually,
his year, hasn't it?
Well,
good.
It's the fact that he covers the ground so quickly, he can get to the contest. Just watch this, and it's just his great tackling there across half-back, but he's just been a revelation this year, this fella. I reckon he might actually even win the Norwich Rising Star.
Martin Pike tried to clear the half-back line, unsuccessful, so the umpire looks as though he's going to bounce the ball. Pike, we thought, may have suffered. There's Stephen O'Reilly. Bruce, you were talking about him, and maybe coming back onto the ground, even if he came back and put him up on the forward line.
Dipper, find out for us, is he injured or not? Because
no, he's not injured, Bruce.
Yep.
So a tall experienced player on the bench when they could do with maybe a mark up on the forward line and a badly needed goal. 80 plays 40. So all of a sudden a 40-point advantage for North Melbourne. It was just 21 points at half-time, but just before half-time, North did kick the last goal just before the long break, and it was just a 15-point advantage. So they've busted it open to a certain degree. 80 to 40, 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. One of the good things for North Melbourne, I'm sure, will be a confidence booster for Corey McKernan. He's had 12 possessions, he's taken 7 marks. He's made a couple of blues, but he's got his hands on the football, which is important. Norrish can't break away. Here's another player just gathering confidence too. Anthony Rock to Stevens, to King, straightens up. Oh, beautiful pass. Magnificent kick to Craig Scholl. There was no way known that that was going to be intercepted. And Scholl to go for North Melbourne's 12th goal.
North Melbourne just picking them off now, aren't they? They're just doing pretty much as they please. But Anthony Rock, I've been impressed with his game tonight. He really has played the game as if he wants to impress enough to make sure that his name gets penciled in over the next couple of weeks and the finals.
Scholl's kick for goal is offline, away to the left. And he
Tim,
scores behind.
Sorry, Robert, for Anthony Rock to also play well in the middle, obviously when Corey McKernan's playing well, gives him every opportunity to get the ball.
26 scoring shots to 10 now, 11-15 to 6-4. Percentage pretty important here too, from North Melbourne's point of view, isn't it? The percentage.
Oh yes, yeah, Melbourne.
With the top 2 and the top 4 so critical in the makeup of the final 8. They're on the same number of wins as the Bulldogs and Sydney at the moment. Both those teams play one another tomorrow, but North have got 2 tough matches coming up. Carroll's kick is a good mark. North have got to go to Adelaide next Saturday night. That'll be a big game, and then they're here for the final Friday night of the season. Kick was held up. Holland's handball, that's Brodie Holland, and out of play. So the Dockers are flat at the moment, 81 to 40.
And if you're sitting there coaching them, Tim, you'd have to feel a bit frustrated, wouldn't you? I mean, some of the mistakes they're making are just basic skill errors.
Yeah, it's been the story of their year too. Their unforced turnovers have cost them dearly in a number of games.
McGovern gets it from Sinclair. Back to Gale. Handball was okay to Shane Parker. Parker's kick out wide is a good one to Bond, and he's got him at halfback. Bond, who went from the ground in the first quarter after being the hip and shoulder from Abraham, collecting him under the chin. But he's made a good recovery, and he's a very honest player. There's no doubt about that. Into Norrish, they're getting good value out of Norrish also this season, and he's short one to Gale. So 3 blokes that have played every game between them take the ball down the ground.
And just in that passage of play, they've been able to chip away and set it up. Now Callahan run down from behind by McCartney. The kick towards full forward. Pickett and Clucas. And
Pickett didn't actually take possession of the footy, so paid the free kick for being held without the ball.
Well, you'd have to say he played it pretty well then, John. And Bell took the hand pass, then kicked it into the middle. Scott and Roberts combined. Now Rock just gathering now, isn't he? Anthony Rock in the middle of the ground. Kicks it in the direction of Carey. Carey couldn't take the mark, but he's there to recover. Gathers. Can't do much with it. So Carroll for Fremantle to Burton. Burton out wide for Norrish. It doesn't really bounce to his advantage. But Simpson wanted that footy, didn't he? Adam Simpson for North Melbourne goes for goal. McKernan, the outstretched arms, not able to control it, and it spills through for a rush behind to the Kangaroos.
Actually, it wasn't a very good kick in the end by Simpson, although he was under a bit of pressure. Just watch this attempt by McKernan, but the actual kick went too deep. The North Melbourne forwards would have been hoping that that ball was centred up about 20 metres out from the top of the square.
So 7 goals now, the margin in favour of North Melbourne. Bond accepts the kick in from Parker, and Bond will go short, and it's taken by Walker.
And halfback gets around Pike, and then his little kick falling over, though, unfortunately, was Callahan. Bell's got it. Back to Simpson. Simpson with a high kick to centre-half forward. Shane Parker back, couldn't hold the mark. Really should have. Tackle. Norrish over the top. Carey to put the pressure on him. Norrish and Carey's going to be holding the ball. Carey's going to get a free kick. It's interesting because Hayden Kennedy would have had a difficult time really seeing whether Norris was actually trying to get rid of it from his position. I'm not saying it wasn't a free kick, but this is a reverse angle where
what Hayden Kennedy is considered is that Norris has elected to dive on the ball, Carey has applied a legitimate tackle, and then Norris hasn't immediately hit the ball clear. And as you said, Bruce, it'd be very difficult for Hayden Kennedy to take all that information in from where he was.
We had a great view there from the reverse angle, didn't we? Well, 4 times this year, Carey's kicked 5 goals or better in a match, and he's done that already tonight. And could this be number 6? He's been kicking the ball well after some early misses, and he's kicked that very strongly. I think it might be all the way for goal number 6. So 3 in the second and 3 in the third. Interesting because Burton definitely got a finger to it, and it was very close, but Carey's got 6. It's 12-16 to 6-4.
The reason I asked John about the Brownlow medal votes, I mean, he does dominate games. Do we expect him to do too much? I mean, tonight, would you suggest at this stage that he's been the dominant player so far?
Wayne Carey tonight.
Wayne Carey tonight.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's the dominant forward on the ground.
So Carey with 6 goals. So if you were stopping the votes now, you'd give him the 3, wouldn't you, at this very minute?
Well, I'd like to think so, Bruce, but I wonder sometimes whether we just expect these star players to do too much, John.
Yeah, I don't think the way Wayne Carey's played today, he'd have to have come under their notice, and I'm sure if we stop the game now, as Bruce said, we'd give him the 3, you would think.
Well, there's a bit of time left in the third quarter, and still the last quarter to go for Carey to add to his already impressive stats. 6 goals is enough, you'd think, but 15 kicks and 6 handballs. Pike to get it down in his area once again. Out came Scholl. Little kick by McKernan. Abraham tackled by Bond. Gets it out to Rock. Rock going for goal number 4. Rock has got goal number 4. Gee, there's been big games by 2 or 3 players, hasn't there? Anthony Rock with 22 possessions. Stevens with 14. We spoke about McKernan, David King, Adam Simpson, and of course the captain Wayne Carey, who's kicked 6 goals.
And Daniel Parker has now been taken from the ground and replaced by O'Reilly, who'll go on to Wayne Carey. And good hands there by Winston Abraham yet again, just to get the ball up off the deck. Quick hands, didn't come right back up again. The boys from North Melbourne, they're very quick at ground level with their handball. And Rock, good finishing.
4 goals to Rock and 6 to Carey. Callahan's handball to Norris. Norris goes forward, but North completely in control here, and Mickey's taken a beauty. Mickey Martin, what a wonderful contributor he's been to this footy club. High ball to half forward. Carey again able to out-position his opponent there, and O'Reilly this time. And look, without harping on it, labouring the point, I am surprised O'Reilly was from the ground for so long in this quarter. Carey was 6. You know, Rock had played 13 games this season and kicked 4 goals in those 13 games, and tonight he's just added another 4. So it's been a huge game for Anthony Rock in terms of his reassertion in this footy team. Bell's kick, Carey's got another one. That's a good mark. He is putting on a show now, isn't he? He really is. I think he's the 3rd favourite for the Brownlow. In fact, Harvey was 6-4 going into this weekend, and I'm pretty sure Wayne Carey was 4-1 or 7-2 third favourite. And he might have even been the 2nd favourite, is he?
$6 second favourite.
So $5 second favourite. He's going to shorten up tonight. And look, I tell you what, I don't think anyone would complain if this bloke won a Brownlow medal, would they?
That's what I'm getting at. I think that, you know, he would cap off a fantastic career. There's plenty of football left in him.
And Carey goes for his 7th, and he's just missed. I think he's disappointed. They've kicked, Rock and Carey, between them have kicked 10 of North Melbourne's last 11 goals. So they're on a run. Here's the super slow-mo reverse angle of Wayne Carey's kicking style. He drops the ball carefully, doesn't he? And what a player he is.
A Fremantle bluff by him?
Oh, I don't know whether they're bluffed by him. I think they're mesmerised by him at the moment.
Last time, Robbo, asked you a question like that, Kevin Sheedy made a meal out of it and has been running with it all year. So just be careful when you answer that one. It's all yours, Robbo. 95-40.
Well, John Russo needs some help, Bruce. The kick goes out towards the half-back area. Good mark taken by Capuano. He's an important player because he seems to be able to do the ruck work.
Well, he releases McKernan.
That's right, to put more pressure down there and give Carey a bit of a hand, both with physical presence and, of course, his ability. That mark is a good one taken by McGovern across half-back for Fremantle. They just can't get anything going at all. Here's a bit of a risk. Burton able to mark in front of Capuano.
We keep talking about Carey and his domination across half-forward, but North Melbourne have been very good in the last 2 quarters with their play at ground level. Guys like Bell and Rock and Winston Abraham on the forward line too, also Grant.
Gee whiz, that's a bit of a punt, isn't it? You go out to Callaghan, and his immediate opponent on that occasion was Carey. Scott unselfishly for Grant. That should be 50 metres. That is just not necessary. He was going to take the mark.
Yep.
He's got to get 50, and that's fair umpiring. You just can't have that in a...
Just careless, right? Yeah. I mean, once the mark is taken, then he really should be protected. And it just, I mean, it's difficult to change direction when you're in the air, and that's got to be appreciated. But nevertheless, he was very late.
Actually, it looked uglier the first time than what it really was.
He didn't really mean too much by it.
No, it's just the case that he went to ground, Tim, I suppose.
Don't you blokes agree on anything?
Yeah.
Be careful, John.
Grant kicks the goal. Shannon Grant has kicked 2 goals. His has just been a little cameo alongside Carey, who's kicked 6, and Rock, who has kicked 4.
I think, as you said, Robert, it looked a bit worse in normal speed rather than that reverse angle, slow-mo angle, and certainly late, though, so the 50-metre penalty should be paid, because putting him on the ground after he's taken the mark has to be penalised with a 50-metre penalty.
Untidy stuff by Trent Carroll.
North have kicked 8 of the last 9 goals here, completely dominating, 14-17 to 6-4, and in the centre, Capuano out, but to Bond. Bond's high ball to half-forward, Sinclair front spot, Scott with him, just gets it away. Walker squeezes one out towards half-forward. McCartney against the flow, had the confidence, had Martin to back him up with a shepherd. Doesn't quite get the penetration, couldn't get it to King, and Holland took the mark. Probably had to go wider there, McCartney, didn't he? If he wasn't going to kick it long enough, he had to kick it wide. He had to get it over Holland's head if he was going to go with that angle. So deep into this 3rd quarter, at the moment North Melbourne's percentage is 6 behind the Bulldogs. If you stopped it right now, they would close within about 3.5 or 4% of the Bulldogs. They've taken their percentage from 100 to 113 in their 6-match winning streak. So they've really got their percentage together. Holland's kick is a beauty on the siren. What a great goal. Well, that gives the kids something to take.
The Fremantle, we've got Andrew Wills, Andrew Parker, Clem Michael, and James Clem. I was having a cup of tea, Tim. What are you doing to me?
I can see you.
14-17 to 7-4, thanks, Tipper. Hey, Tim's taking no prisoners tonight, Tipper, and that includes you. The kick out of the centre from Blakey to centre half forward. Carey goes to ground. Quick handball away from Carroll. Taken by Pike, straightens the body and couldn't quite get the right angle. And he's kicked it out on the fall, so no score there. So the interchange there, we've checked one of the teams, haven't we?
Yes, and the other one, North Melbourne, we've got Freeborn, Roberts, Crocker and Harvey.
O'Reilly's kick, outside 50. Abraham went with McKernan. Stevens off the ground, cleverly got it inside 50. Sinclair tackled by Grant, gets it away, taken by Gale. His kick out wide finds Burton at half-back.
Chris Bond is in trouble in the back in there. Where's the half-forward line?
Yeah, he's in a bit of pain, isn't he, Bond? Just out, there he is.
He hasn't been the same player since he got that heavy knock in the first quarter.
Burton's kicked to centre wing. McGovern's at the back. And was that out on the fall? I think it was. And Rock to get the kick in. Huge figures for Rock in the 3rd quarter.
We had 10 possessions in that 3rd term, kicked a couple of goals too. He's just been in fact, he kicked 3 goals in that 3rd term. Been a very impressive midfielder tonight.
Callaghan not able to take the football with him, kicked out of mid-air there by Bond, and an infringement against Dodd. May have been a little technical.
Yeah, I think you're right, Robbo, but I'm scared to agree with you now.
Oh, don't be afraid, Johnny.
101 plays 46. North Melbourne will win the game. We've got about 28 minutes to determine what the margin will be. The Dockers through Kingsley Hunter. He's taken the mark around about half forward. He'll kick the ball to the goal square and a safe mark. Doesn't he do just a regular job? A regular, hard-nosed defender, Mickey Martin.
Well, it must be great when you're picking a side to know that you can just pencil someone in at full back and they're going to do the job for you week in, week out. And that's one of the hardest spots to cover for a side week in, week out.
And you would think that percentage of games played per games available to him has been good as well. He has been an enduring player. Kick towards the forward 50-metre for North Melbourne. Scholl, his tackle, pretty good on Parker.
Fantastic tackle.
And what's going to happen? The
throw ball will be thrown in.
I just
tackle took Parker out of bounds, so but a great tackle by Scholl. Fantastic.
Yeah, I just watched the umpire come in quickly, but of course he's got to get into that position to judge the ruck contest. And kicked away eventually by Shane Parker, back towards half forward. King and Holland, the experienced campaigner David King, a long hand pass, sets it up for Pike, in turn to Robert Scott, and then Stevens. Well, he was just a little overzealous there, Anthony Stevens. He's usually hard-nosed with his attacks on the footy. Played an airy. Umpire will bounce just wide of the centre circle here at the MCG. We'll have another look at Anthony Stevens' air shot, but
missing everything.
Yep. Umpire's bounce. You can see the centre circle in the top of the picture there. Burton gets his left hand to it. Pike kicked away by Norrish. Pike to keep the pressure on that player, and then eventually Stevens to chip in. What was that, John?
Martin Pike's tackle just slung. Who was it? It
Norrish,
was Jason Norrish after he disposed of the footy. We see him punches the ball, and here we see it again, Robbo. He's just slung by Martin Pike after disposal, so pretty clear cut.
Okay, Norrish kicks the ball in towards half forward. Punched away to the bottom of the pack. McCartney. Another free kick. Might go to, is this Chandler, is it, I think?
Yes, it is Chandler, and very similar again. Chandler slung after disposal or without the footy, so the free kick paid.
At half-back, official attendance tonight, 19,429. It's about what we would have expected for this match. North don't have a huge following, and the Dockers obviously not the biggest ticket in Melbourne. But next week, you'd expect 60 or 70,000 minimum for the Bombers and the Bulldogs. As Gale's got it at centre wing. It's 7-4 to 14-17. Gale's kicked to centre half forward. Pickett leaning back, Hunter at the back. Well played, Pickett. He actually defended from the front. It was very clever. McCartney, handball back to Martin. Put Mickey under the hammer. Martin was able to pave the way. Out comes King. Geez, great to watch King. Kicks the ball wide to Stevens. Stevens takes his man on, and King backed up beautifully. And clever kick down the line. Bond did well to cut it off. Boundary throw in.
And that North Melbourne defence really relies heavily, doesn't it, on King getting back, Pickett getting back, because they really cover a myriad of sins that can be committed by some of those other North Melbourne defenders.
Pickett's just got such orientation on the footy field, hasn't he? He knows where he is, and he knows what to do. He's got a very old head on those young shoulders. Fletcher's had a lot of it. Not an effective tackle, so he was a bit lucky, and Holland just ran the ball over the line.
Actually, Fletcher's had a bit of the ball. He's had 15 possessions, but a lot of them have been ineffectual. Simpson's done a pretty good job on him tonight, just running with him.
Yeah, the stats can lie sometimes. Remember when Fletcher had a bad kick forward and the ball came straight back into his arms, and he got a couple of possessions there. Godden's kick to fall forward. Good kick probing. Martin did well to get a finger on it. McCartney gets back. Back with him is Brown. We haven't seen a lot of him. A late inclusion for Mann tonight. McCartney back to Scott. Scott running towards the boundary. Kicks the ball along the line. Rock with this big game that he's having. McGovern puts the pressure on. Rock should have run it over the line, but he kept it in. Dodd's got it. Dodd goes short to Godden.
Godden to straighten up and kick the ball to within scoring distance for Fremantle. At the back, mark taken by King. Well, he's done pretty well, David King. We feel he's been reported earlier in the game for an indiscretion, but he's kept his mind on the job, and he's picked up quite a few possessions. That was his 20th possession as such. Peter Bell has marked a short kick. He's in the left back pocket, not far around from the members' stand here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It has been a reasonable night for footy. Just got a little colder as the night wore on, but certainly good conditions, not much breeze, and rain-free so far. Kick out wide. Blakey just infringing there. He kept his eye on the ball, but it was a bit of an unfortunate one, but certainly an infringement against Sinclair. Rather ordinary kick by Sinclair. Pike sets it up for Blakey. Blakey goes wider for Bell. Bell, good kick. Martin will go down the ground here. Go Mickey, go the North Melbourne fans. 2 bounces. The third bounce, nearly run down by Walker, but he got his kick away. In towards full forward. Well done by Gale to get into the path there of Carey, and he kicks it away across the line, and it bounces over for a throw-in about 65 metres around from goal.
And Robbo, Wayne Carey actually looked like he lost the ball in the lights on that occasion. He looked like he was in the best position. There he is there, just sort of looking up into the air, trying to shield himself. Just watch this. He's put his hand up there to shield the light and just lost total sight of it.
Scott getting forward, kicks the ball into the pocket. Scholl playing it towards the pocket, was held on to. Beautifully done. Gets it to Grant, who kicks his third. Well done, Scholl. I think Robbo mentioned cameo for Shannon Grant. It's been one of those nights, not many posies, but he's kicked 3, keeps his average up. Look, you've played here a lot under the lights, Tim, in a big final, I remember, against Carlton as well. Are they a problem at times?
They can be, yep. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. When you look up and the ball is in the wrong position, you can lose sight of it in the lights. But Grant, he hasn't had a great night tonight, but then you look at the scorecard at the end of the day, he's kicked 3 as a forward.
Well, Shannon Grant, his third goal. Anthony Rocker's kicked 4. Wayne Carey has kicked 6. On the other side of the ledger, the Fremantle goal kickers, Clem Michael kicked 2, and they all in the first quarter. And right now he's warming the bench. Godden dispossessed. Forward goes Rock. It lands in the area of Carey. Just bounces past 3 players there. Carroll first back and does well with determination. He will clear for the Dockers. Wide to the wing. McKernan misjudged it a little bit. Away goes Sinclair with a bit of pace. He can break away from Blakey and then kick the Dockers to within 50 metres. The punch from the back. Clucas not able to gather. Martin and King. Terrific understanding, isn't there? I suppose if you play a lot of football together, it just has to come eventually. Kick wide by Simpson. Bell. Good understanding. Well, he had to run to support. He did just that, Anthony Stevens. He's kicked to half forward. Carey not able to mark. Kicked out of there by Scholl. It bounces, bounces, bounces all the way, and only for a behind in the finish. Craig Scholl, 2 behinds against his name.
The boos coming from the North Melbourne crowd. Just watch this. Just talk us through this one, Johnny.
Yeah, well, obviously Wayne Carey held there by Stephen O'Reilly, and that's what the North Melbourne crowd are upset about, the fact that he didn't get the free kick. And clearly Wayne Carey dragged away from that marking contest, but the umpire behind and seeing the same view as we saw just then, so he hopefully would be under instructions not to guess those ones.
Parker getting into a bit of trouble to Gale. Belts the handball to Godden. 108 to 46. Godden away at half back. Little kick into the centre. Norrish had to half volley it. Clever handball actually to Bond. Bond's quick kick to half forward. Daniel Parker front spot. He's had a very average night. Hasn't played a lot of senior football. Must be hard to have any confidence when that's the case. Bell's had a good night at a boundary throw-in. North Melbourne defences look really good. And I think that's an important part for them because they've been very, very generous this year, haven't they? At one stage they had the worst defence in the comp.
Well, it's really their attack that's held them up this year, but I think the way they've been playing over the last couple of years and actually pushing their players right up the ground, it's actually given their defenders a little bit more breathing space in terms of the players that have been getting back there and helping, and Pickett's been a wonderful player. King's also done that tonight, and it just makes a real difference, and Scott's another player that's been getting back there and doing some work.
McKernan there. Simpson belts it on. Well done by Bond to push forward. Goes to Chandler, to Blakey, to Pike. They just overused it, North, which is not their style. Blakey's kick. Scott sits and waits. He's got it clearly. Well done. Caresses the ball with a little kick in towards centre half forward. Scott caught. Not Scott, I should say Rock. Godden with him. But that was an interesting instance of North Melbourne just being a little too fancy. It's not the North Melbourne style, is it?
When the pressure goes off in a game, though, players are often find themselves in that situation where they do choose the wrong option. They do try and overpossess the ball. They try and make the perfect passage of play each time they control the ball.
McKernan got his hand onto it. Callaghan just gang harassed there, if there's such a thing. Simpson forces it forward. Abraham into the clear. Little tap for Bell. If that's all legal, that is just a great passage of play.
Well, all of the Fremantle players certainly suggesting that that was illegal disposal.
Well, wasn't it just slick?
Looked like a crow throw. Just watch this again. North Melbourne, this is what they do so well. They just force the ball forward. On this occasion, Winston Abraham at the ground level, and that was really probably a throw there by Shannon Grant. 2 hands on the ball.
And lifting it too, Tim.
Yep, got away with it on that occasion, and Peter Bell, the lucky man at the end of it.
Well, Peter Bell kicks his first goal late in the game, which is a little unusual because he's renowned as a goal kicker for North Melbourne. Stevens to pounce on the loose ball. Can he shrug the tackle? He gets the hand pass away. Clucas, hand pass. Godden's kick smothered. Walker tackled by Chandler. Still Anthony Stevens. Walker didn't really go to his advantage, his team's advantage. Chopped off by Pike, and Pike's kick has been marked by Carey. Well, Carey has kicked 6 goals, 3, 16 kicks, 7 marks, and he's coming up for maybe his 7th goal.
Greatest winning margin ever between the two clubs. Admittedly, we haven't had a lot of history. Is 71 points. It was the first time they ever played one another in 1995. So North 72 in front at the moment. Look like having their biggest win ever against the Dockers.
Carey goes for goal number 7, and he's got it. So another great performance, a powerhouse performance by Wayne Carey. 7 goals, 3 out of 17-18, 120, leading the Dockers, who are 7-4-46.
Once again, Stevens just working incredibly hard in tight, but it was Pike that actually was the lucky man to clear that pack, and then Carey just on the end of it. And just watching it go through, and quite relieved.
Tim, he breaks the record. He's the first North Melbourne player to kick 7 goals against the Dockers. He and Glenn Archer held the record of 6 goals each. So they're breaking some records here tonight. 78 points the margin. If they hold that lead, it will be their biggest win ever over the Dockers, and their biggest win this season in 1998 for North Melbourne. They're really getting some steam up, aren't they, going in towards the last 2 weeks and then the finals. Stevens kick out wide. Bell, who's had a fantastic match. Parker caught by Abraham. Back to Bond. Bond's the little one around the body, and marked by Norwich at centre wing. 17-18 to 7-4. Norwich's kick inside 50. McCartney front spot. He's been a success story, hasn't he? I think, you know, Collingwood and Adelaide, and I think the Crows probably felt, well, we can't get anything out of him, and he's come to North Melbourne. He's been terrific. McKernan front spot not paid. Godden's kick back to half forward, belted away by Simpson to Bell. Bell back to Pike. Pike taking his man on and doing it well, getting around Bond, who looks to be injured. Carey in the box seat. Out the back was O'Reilly. Sinclair. Carey's tackle was good. McGovern. O'Reilly's left footer. High, wide. Now Harvey's taken off here after it, showing a real turn of foot. McGovern after him. Good contest. Blakey hasn't been able to quite get a handle on it. Now gets it to Harvey. Harvey running. Belts it to full forward. Carey getting set. He's got it again. He's going to kick his 8th. I reckon he's having his best year ever. I reckon this is his best season of footy.
I wish I could get a bet on the 3 votes for the Brownlow medal tonight. He's just
what
got
a giant he is in the game. I mean, he just casts the longest shadow of any player in AFL footy, doesn't he?
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
He's going to kick 8 for the 2nd time this season. He's a colossus, isn't he? What about that? Remember that game against Geelong here in the final when he kicked the big 7 on the wet night? 8 goals all after the first quarter. 3 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. And if North Melbourne were 3-1 favourites for the flag before this weekend, right now the bookie boys have got them into 5-2 and nervous.
There's been plenty of ball supply, though, hasn't there, from their midfield. They have just taken control since quarter time. It was a bit of an arm wrestle in the midsection of the ground, but since then the North Melbourne players at ground level have just been magnificent, and there's no doubt it's helped the forwards.
So 8 goals to the powerhouse captain forward for North Melbourne, Wayne Carey. And he missed a couple of what we thought would be reasonable easy shots for him earlier in the game. 8 goals, 3. Good punch away by McCartney from half-back. Trying to swoop on this is Holland, and then kicks it across his left shoulder. Disciplined play. Godden's a chance to kick a goal. And it's a good kick by Tony Godden. Has it been touched off the boot?
David King's appealed that he touched it off the boot, and Steve McBurney's agreed with him and signalled touched.
And it's been paid exactly that way. Johnny behind. Gee whiz, that was...
I've seen defenders do that before when they haven't touched it.
Well, the kick in taken by Simpson. Simpson goes wide to Martin. He's really a popular person, Mickey Martin, with the North Melbourne fans. Knocked away there by Michael from Capuano. There's Mickey Martin.
It's been a long time since the sides won 7 in a row, and I think it's the first time under Coach Pagan that North Melbourne have won 7 in a row.
Terrific performance, and they're surging towards a chance to get their second premiership in 3 years, having won a couple of years ago. And they've been very competitive under Dennis Pagan's coaching. McKernan, dispossessed, kicked away by Callaghan, gathered here by Holland, gets around and then kicks it high. Not really to the advantage. It's just so easy for the North Melbourne defenders to punch it away. Hunter, harassed by Simpson. So was Fletcher. He was able to get the hand pass to Godden. Just forced over in the finish. Didn't affect the tackle, but just the pressure by Martin has forced a throw in.
And Robert, they've just had nobody across half forward all night, have they? The
None whatsoever.
Just really, Kingsley Hunter took a couple of early marks in the first quarter, but since then they've just had nobody who's been capable of taking a good, strong, contested mark in that forward zone.
Pushing it back.
Blakey's free kick against Sinclair.
Simpson's been terrific.
Yeah, he's played very well, hasn't he? I mean, they've had a very good team effort with a couple of outstanding stars. The kick to centre-half forward. Carey with it again. These huge stats that he's had tonight. Sits, waits, pirouettes, delivers to McKernan. Long way out. He's got a short one from Abraham. Is he going to load up? He does. It's a terrible attempt. Bouncing ball to centre-half forward. Chance for Abraham. Abraham turns. Abraham delivers. Abraham goals! Well, he didn't kick a goal last week, and he hadn't kicked a goal so far this week, and Chris Bond's giving him a bit of a lip there. But they've got 19, and Winnie has just provided a little bit of magic late in the match. 19-18 to 7-5.
Actually, that was quite a dangerous kick in the end there by Corey McKernan, because it was always going to hit the ground and bubble along, and it was going to be a difficult one for the defenders to get their hands on. In the end, it went to Winston Abraham, and a beautiful finish.
Well, they haven't kicked 20 goals too many times this year, Bruce. I had a look at it earlier. I think it's only been about 2 or 3 times, and they've still got a couple of minutes left. 3 times, was it? So I think Dennis Pagan, they didn't kick accurately early. They had something like 7-12 on the scoreboard at half-time. He probably would have been happier with maybe 9-10 or something like that, but...
Robbo, Brisbane round 4, St Kilda round 15, Melbourne round 17. They've got 20 goals on those occasions.
Yes, it's just been, from that point of view, their scoring power hasn't been sensational, but they've got a few minutes left here to add to this tally so far. 19 goals they've kicked in the match, of which Carey has kicked 8. Carey to swoop on it again, and he gets rid of Parker. Still got the footy. Handball to Freeborn. Freeborn back onto the left. Centres it. Callaghan, good mark. That's terrific stuff. Because it was a big man in McKernan to confront Craig Callaghan. Eventually
pushing
just
the back. It won't be paid downfield because he was actually pushed as he disposed of the ball. So had he been pushed in the back after disposal, then it would have been paid where the ball landed. But because he was pushed as he kicked it, it'll go back to that original spot.
And Winston Abraham and Bond still having plenty to say to each other in the middle of the ground.
85 points the margin. It's going to be a big victory. And it's been cold and calculating, hasn't it, by the Kangaroos. Clement tackled there by Freeborn. Scholl appealing for the free kick. And I don't think there was much that Clement could do there. So the umpire will bounce right in front of the North Melbourne goal. Freeborn did well to smother the Carroll kick and then went in and affected the tackle on Clement. And the umpire has bounced. McKernan got his right foot to it. Kick forward there by Scott, just missing to the left. scores are behind.
And the thing we should mention about that, the 19,000 odd people squealing for holding the ball in that instance, he didn't elect to go dive on the ball or drag the ball in. He actually went to the ground with the ball. So if that's the case, he's got a reasonable time to attempt to dispose of it. So a bounce was reasonable in the circumstances.
Good kick by McGovern to Gale. Short to Bond. He's obviously unhappy with Abraham. Just waits the kick to centre wing. Hunter, Martin, who's had an outstanding game. Dodd throwing it, scooping it up. And the free kick going to Scott. What a durable player Scott is too. I mean, Dennis Pagan has such success with players coming from other clubs. Something, Carey's come from the ground, by the way, and Roberts has come on. So Wayne Carey coming from the ground. McKernan's kick into the forward line went through Shane Parker's fingers. Capuano gets down low, can't get the effective handball. McGovern to Parker. Scholl put the handball on him. Michael's little kick out wide, okay. And marked by Mark Gale, whose dad was leading the British seniors title at one stage last week, Terry. What a great golfer he's been over the years. Sporting family, the Gales from Western Australia. In short to Shane Parker at centre half back.
Johnny, you mentioned during that third term that if a player answers back the umpire, we're talking about whether Wayne Carey would get the 3 votes tonight when he was instructing the umpire look at the scoreboard. Is it possible that an umpire would not give him 3 votes tonight if in fact he had been a little bit vocal in those instances?
If he did it fairly regularly, I'm sure that would come into account, and so it should, Tim, because the Brownlow form reads fairest and best, and if he's and look, it certainly didn't look as though he's been doing it all night.
Well,
So
we've had 28 possessions since that question, Tim. The ball's now gone forward. I hope our statistician has been keeping up with all of that. And if that's the slowest question ever asked and the slowest answer ever answered. Boundary throwing, 133 to 47.
I reckon you and I
free
should get
kick,
the Brownlow medal votes. We've been fairest and best tonight, Bruce.
I've lost concentration. Shane Parker's free kick, and he's going to. I've aged about 2 years since that question was asked. Marked by Clem Michael at centre half back.
The two antagonists, Russo and Watson. Michael's kick goes wide. And Callaghan confronted again. Look at Simpson. Terrific stuff by Adam Simpson. He has just worn Fletcher all night. McGovern gets it out wide to Clement. Clement, good kick under the circumstances. Not quite taken back there by Hunter, but Martin, lousy as ever. Combines with David King. Terrific kick again. Covered about 35 metres onto the chest there of his teammate in Roberts. Harvey not able to do much. Neither was Roberts' kick all that good. Now a little hand pass by Bell to Pike. Pike goes across the line. Out there is Capuano. The ball should really bounce for him. It does. And Capuano across his body. What has Matthew Capuano done? Ha ha! The goal of the night. That is rubbing salt into it, isn't it? First goal to Capuano. And from deep in the pocket, the North Melbourne fans are happy, but there's the happiest one of all. Terrific goal by Matthew Capuano.
It was a great setup again, though, wasn't it? The hands by Bell, just quick to Pike, release Pike. Pike actually kicked to the space, and Matthew Capuano probably will never, ever kick another goal like that in his AFL career.
It's a bit harsh there, Tim.
It's his first goal for the season. It's not a bad one, is it?
It's a beauty. It's a terrific kick.
What a great kick. North getting close to 100 points here. They're zooming in on that. They may get there. Pike's been good. They've all been good. Pike from 50. Leads back and kicks another one. What a finish. They might get the 100. 98 points the margin. North Melbourne. I think this is called going in for the kill. They can taste it. There's the great one himself sitting on the boundary.
Just watch the way they just kick the ball forward here. Look, just Blakey, just forcing it forward, and something usually happens. Quick hands off the deck again by Roberts. Perhaps a throw. It was hard to tell from this stage, but it appeared that both hands moved. But then Pike on the end of it again. He's played as a midfielder tonight. He's had plenty of the ball, Pike. 30 possessions, and that's his first goal. Well, we talk about probably the shorter midfielders, but he's also been a very good midfielder for them tonight, Martin Pike, again.
Well, here they go again. Blakey,
too
one
far.
bounce.
Too far.
What?
Well, the umpires certainly signalled too far, and maybe we'll get another chance to have a look at it, but he's run almost half of the centre square, and the centre square is 45 metres long.
Gale out wide. Callaghan has the football. North Melbourne, 13 of the last 14 goals in the game. Overrunning at Parker. Look at Martin. He's just got wonderful presence, hasn't he? And awareness. He's quite confident. Capuano and David King.
A 50-metre penalty's been paid.
Robbo, they want the 100 points. You can tell by that.
Oh, yeah,
North
my word.
they're
100-point
after,
win. Yeah. 98 points, the margin. And seconds ticking away. We're down into the last minute. So they'll have to cleanly take the ball down. Simpson wide for Roberts. Roberts pumps it to the goal square. Scholl, he's got it. He'll run in. If it's all clear, it is. It is 104 points the margin now. Craig Scholl kicks his first goal for the game after kicking 2 behinds earlier.
Gee, their percentage is going to be interesting. It's going to be very close to the Bulldogs, isn't it?
I thought this was in the back, actually.
I agree with you, Tim. I mean, there were certainly 2 actions there, and Scholl's first action was to get rid of his opponent, and the second action to mark the ball. And I mean, in those circumstances, it's the marking contest has to take place. But Craig Scholl just wanted to get rid of an opponent and make sure it couldn't.
We've got a lot of North Melbourne players who've got last quarter goals to put them on the score sheet here as they lead by 104 points. A record-winning margin here tonight against the Fremantle Dockers, and we'll be checking their percentage at the end of the night. It's going to be very close to the Bulldogs. North, the first time they've won 7 in a row under Dennis Pagan. He's been there now in his 6th season. He's won about 65% of his matches. In fact, they've won 90 games under Dennis Pagan, and the first team this year to win 7 in a row. What form they have, as that's it. Huge second half. 15 goals to 2. 8 goals to 0 after 3-quarter time.